Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
What are you most thankful for with these Razorback blessings? Baheba Aloy, SEC Player of the Year. Bree Ellis, SEC Player of the Year. Maria Jose Marine, National Champion Golfer.
Isn't it amazing, though? Like, you can go through 10 things that are great. You can watch your favorite team play, and they blow somebody out or win the game. You always point out the thing that didn't do well or the one that got left out, or that's just human, that you want what you don't have.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this morning.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night, love y'all to death, Jeff.
Do you mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
I'm in my Sunday school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, "What's heard on the Chuck and Bo Show?"
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
Good afternoon, everybody.
What can I do for you, Norm?
Well, I am going to need something to kill time before my second beer. How about a first one?
You got it.
I got to admit. Now, you guys are too young to remember. But
Well, if I had a
Thursday
dollar.
Thursday nights were must-watch television back in the day when Cheers would come on 8 o'clock, and Norm would walk in, and everyone would go, "Norm!" And those were the days.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Norman?
What's doing, Norm?
Well, science is seeking a cure for thirst. I happen to be the guinea pig.
I heard what you said there, by the way.
Yeah, if I had a dollar for every time that you mentioned you guys are too young, and I can't figure out whether I would have been a millionaire like yesterday. Yesterday was National Be a Millionaire Day.
I know.
But I can't figure out whether you're talking about Edward and Bart or all of us.
All of you. Well, Edward and Bart. I mean, it's a given with Edward and
Well,
Bart.
there's 4 different demographics here.
You were, what, were you a child? Were you like in junior high when that was
but
on?
I've
Seriously.
explained this before. I didn't grow up with television.
That's right.
Now it's no excuse for my lack of pop culture knowledge now.
That's right.
You know, I've had plenty of time to catch up.
I understand.
And I still really haven't. But I don't have the recollection, the recall of some of these shows.
Yeah.
Like, you know, some people, some well-rounded people like you. Now, I can tell you about camp meetings and revivals and stuff, but I don't vacation Bible school.
Yeah.
But I only have. Now, here's what's great, though. Here's the positive of social media.
Okay.
You have the opportunity. YouTube, clips that you see on social media platforms, you have the ability to go back and be nostalgic and see things that you never saw. Maybe you missed all the Seinfeld episodes. Maybe you didn't see Cheers. You can go back and watch them now. And sometimes that's actually fun because great shows actually do withstand the test of time.
No doubt. And Cheers was one of those shows. I mean, it really was. And, it had a great run. But Thursday nights, in fact, NBC, their big promo was must-watch TV. Catchy, clever slogan.
Now we're getting into the weeds, but
I know.
What back when we had great network television shows, we used to have great network television news, not to take away from the hardworking people doing it now, but that has changed, and I think like great television shows have changed.
Well, to tell someone
good ones,
now,
but not iconic, not shows that we're gonna be talking about 30 years from now.
Well, to tell someone now that we watched network television at night, I mean, I couldn't tell you 3 shows that are on prime time on ABC, NBC, or CBS. I couldn't because that's not part of my watching pattern anymore. But that was the way it was then. And NBC ruled Thursday nights. I mean, NBC balanced the budget off Thursday night.
There was a value. Now, I didn't even know we were going to get into this, but this is the organic kind of a show that we do. We just talk. We're having coffee. You're having coffee, whatever you have in the morning. But there is a value to everybody watching the same show at the same time.
I agree with that.
In the community or in the country. But everyone gets up the next day and they talk about it. Here's what you saw last night or whatever. And you were all watching the same thing.
That's right.
Now, because we have unlimited options on demand at any time, who knows what somebody watched last night and what do we have in common? And honestly, it's one of the things about the Razerbacks that we talk about. That's a commonality throughout our state. of a topic we can all discuss. So that's where we go beyond the weather. We can talk about the Razerbacks.
No severe weather to talk about this morning. Well, I mean, in our state, the Razerbacks are the common denominator. I know there are fans of other teams, but they have an opinion on the Razerbacks.
But if you're in South Florida, where I grew up, and you go to breakfast, and you're just having coffee, and you're sitting around with 5 to 7 other guys, and you bring up the Miami Dolphins, 5 of them, might not even care.
You're right. Well, that's true.
They're from Buffalo and San Diego and
that's
wherever.
Benton County.
Yeah.
That's Bentonville.
Well, we do have pockets in our state where that no longer necessarily applies. But it is it's different here in that way.
It is.
But network television, it was appointment television.
No, it was.
Like Cheers,
absolutely.
Seinfeld.
Seinfeld was on
shows.
Thursday nights. Cheers was on Thursday nights. Night Court was on Thursday nights.
People used to get together and watch it together.
ER, the show that made George Clooney and all those other guys stars, that was on Thursday nights. I mean, you sat down at 7 and you wrapped it up at 10:30 when the news was over.
Chicago Fire doesn't do it for you.
Never watched it, and I was not a big ER watcher. I've not. I don't watch the old episodes.
George Clooney,
but I'm just saying, Thursday nights were the night. I got a little nostalgic when I heard that George Wendt passed away yesterday.
Yeah. What was George's age?
76.
76.
Yeah.
Passed away at 76.
Yeah.
Boy, that's a memorable TV character right there.
Yeah, no. I knew Boogie was not coming back, but when I heard yesterday that he'd actually, I don't know that he signed anything with Florida, but it sounds like it's done.
It's committed.
Money's changed hands, evidently.
Yeah, he's there he goes.
It's still, the thought of seeing him in another team's uniform next year. That's not an NBA team. I didn't really think we'd see that.
Well, we didn't think that.
It doesn't sit right.
We didn't think that during the season and maybe shortly thereafter. But after a few weeks, it became clear that was a distinct possibility.
Yeah.
So it's less stunning now. And when you look at the roster for Arkansas, while anybody would benefit from having Boogie on their team, Arkansas has replaced him. And when you saw what DJ Wagner did with this team and what you expect him to do next year, you improve off even where he was this past year, and you bring in Acuff and the other freshmen and the transfers you brought in, and now we're hearing that potentially Thiero and Knox could come back, and the deadline for this is May 28th. Here's what Matt Norlander said on CBS Sports on a podcast yesterday.
Thiero and Carter Knox, I think they both wind up back at Arkansas. Maybe Knox got a little bit more positive feedback than was expected, but I guess we wait and see on that.
If you get Thiero and Knox back, with all due respect to Boogie, this team is absolutely loaded.
Oh, I think so, too.
I mean, loaded. Like top 5 returning roster in the country.
Maybe the number one.
Maybe the best roster in the country.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know how they're going to rank it, but yes.
I love the makeup of that roster.
Same way. I feel the same way. Now you got to sort out playing time. Guys have to earn playing time. But can you imagine what practice is going to be like? I mean, they're going to have some good practices, some good competition, and that's how you build a team.
I really believe that it's interesting because Cal has always had the reputation of being able to get the best players. And in this transfer portal market, and this year's market is, I believe, different than any market we're going to see. Because we've got the rev share coming, and there are going to be workarounds when it comes to the air quotes NIL portion of this, where you can pay players crazy amounts of money through loopholes. But the idea is going to be that it's regulated, and you're going to have rev share. So there's going to be more, say, salary type slots that people adhere to. Right now, there really are none for some people. If you're struggling, if you're having a hard time getting players, if you're panicked that your roster is not going to be what you hope it would be or good enough to really compete, in some cases, you have a budget in an athletic department or with donors to spend more than what the rest of the market is willing to pay. I believe that's what happened with Boogie to a certain extent. I also believe he realizes what the roster is going to look like next year, and he may not be the man. And he might be told he's going to be the man somewhere else. Look, he's the 8th rated transfer in the portal according to 247 Sports. Now that's still pretty good, but it's not. Hey, you're the best player in the country.
Well,
you're not up for Player of the Year status. At least at this moment, it doesn't feel like that. So somebody was willing to pay him more than I think Arkansas was willing to pay him. I'm not saying Arkansas wouldn't have paid him $500,000 more or whatever he's getting at Florida, but I do believe, from what I understand, what I've been told, Arkansas has done a pretty good job of being diligent and fiscally responsible with their budget. Not from a, we're not willing to pay somebody standpoint, but we're not going to chase and overpay just because one other team or 5 other teams are willing to pay an amount of money that this player really doesn't command. I don't think they have to.
I don't know if the $2 million's accurate or not. I don't know. I
don't think it's entirely accurate.
I know if it is, he would be making at that figure. I feel pretty confident in saying more than any player on Arkansas's basketball team. If that is the price of doing business, so to speak, I think that price is too high. When you look at the basketball team right now, when you look at what they have, to me, that's too high a price to pay. Now, I'm interested to see what happens. We all have this idea that the cost of doing business is going to drop once revenue share. People have this idea that's going to happen, that all of a sudden salaries, if you want to call them that, are going to go down. I don't think that's going to happen. To me, when I look at this, just from an overall perspective, does $2 million, I mean, Tuberville was the first coach to make $1 million. Now they make 6 or 7 or 15 or whatever. Where are we going? Again, I think people have this idea that revenue sharing means that all this is going to be brought under control, as we like to say. I don't believe that, number one. But I just think from an Arkansas perspective, it's if that's the price is too high. You got what you need right now. Look, Arkansas did the majority of their winning last year when Boogie was not on the floor. And I'm not saying that's the reason, but I'm saying they showed they can win without him.
I'm not saying that it's going to change everything, but it's going to change some things. And I'm not disagreeing that it's still going to be people are still going to get paid a lot of money. Players are going to get paid a lot of money. It's going to be more regulated. There are going to be more boundaries. And again, there'll be ways to work around it. But as we all know, Chuck, working around boundaries takes a little bit more time than just here's whatever you want to give somebody. And right now, it's whatever you want to give somebody. There are no boundaries. At least they'll have to go back to cheating.
Well,
because right now you can do whatever you want.
There's gonna be some overvalued NIL deals.
Oh, 100%. I don't know how all this is going to land when we get through the whole. We've all said like the judges ruled this and whatever. This thing's not over. I mean, whatever happened in Tennessee yesterday that we're still trying to figure out, where Tennessee doesn't have to abide by any of the rules that an NCAA can tell them they have to. Like the NCAA can't supersede a state law. That's how we got into this whole thing to begin with.
You're right.
And so how all of this plays out with state to state, and do we get right back into a different version of the same thing we're in because states start making laws, new laws based on whatever the NCAA does? It's like a game of chess. And this is the problem with NCAA sports is they don't have any power.
Well, there's no penalty for lying to them, and we've seen that over the last 5 years. I mean, all the recruiting stuff that went on, and the coaches, the assistants that went to prison. I mean, once they started lying to people that could put them in jail, they were in trouble. Yeah. You can lie to the NCAA and get away with it.
Bruce Pearl never talked to anybody. He wouldn't talk to anybody.
No.
Remember that? Remember when it was like, is he going to keep his job?
Chuck Person went to jail, and Bruce Pearl kept his job.
Exactly.
That's what happened. But yeah, that's the point. And look, I don't want to revisit that.
I didn't know we were going to start the segment with cheers and end in prison.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's been 14 minutes.
You never know what you're going to get.
We had a
here.
lot of ground to cover.
It's Wednesday on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning, kids. There's never a good deal good enough with a bad person. Still a bad deal.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Buying or selling a home's a big deal, and you want someone who is with you every step of the way. That's why those of us at the Chuck and Bo Show wholeheartedly recommend Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, because we've experienced it. They've been my partners for life. They're Bo's partner now, and I promise you, when you become involved with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, they'll become your partners for life too. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978, and you can always log on and check out their selection at WeicherGriffin.com.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
We never thought much about power outages until we had one during the worst possible time. As a busy mom, there are plenty of challenges in a day. But with Paschal, power outages don't have to be one of them. A whole home generator installed by the pros at Paschal gave me back my peace of mind. The process was easy and understandable. Now, I don't have to worry about losing power when storms arrive. Get a free estimate today and keep the power on with a whole home generator from Paschal. Professional people, professional service. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, if you're struggling to get your Social Security disability, or you're buried in debt thinking about bankruptcy, don't wait. You need a legal team that knows how to fight for Arkansans.
That's why you can trust Cadell Reynolds. Bill Reynolds and his team know how to get results when it matters most. Whether it's personal injury, disability, or bankruptcy, they've got your back.
Dial 866-314-3728 or visit CadellReynolds.com today.
Cadell Reynolds. Make the right call. Why don't you just kind of style it up a little bit at the game? Let's get your drip going.
Hey, I got a lot more drip than you think.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
The only difference between me and Scotty Scheffler, just so we're clear, there's only one difference, is when it starts going south for me, like it was for him, I just keep going south.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Yeah, I didn't know what to do this morning, Chuck. I didn't know how we were going to start the show because we didn't have any severe weather to talk about.
I know.
We
we fell into that habit. We fell into the
gravel all
habit
over the
for a couple of days there.
Well,
it was easy.
Yeah.
Slow hanging fruit.
Yeah. Hopefully people are in a position where they can get around. And I know cleanup's a pain in the butt. And, you got some issues to deal with if you dealt with the weather. But obviously could have been much worse in terms of, death count and all that. So we're just glad that didn't happen. But, man, some people really got roughed up by the storm.
They did. And I know yesterday was a cleanup day for a lot of people.
Yeah. And today, got ready to leave the house at 54.
I know. It's kind of chilly.
Oh, it's kind of nice.
Kind of chilly. Yeah.
Kinda nice. The
Feels,
sun's out. You got the, daybreak.
But it's going to warm up. It's going to warm up. Did you see where Saban has doubled down, saying he's not the guy?
Tell me what's going on here.
Well, Saban, President Trump went to Alabama a couple of weeks ago and spoke at graduation, and he and Saban got together, and before you know it, there's going to be a presidential commission. And Saban's going to co-chair it along with this rich guy out at Texas Tech. And, the
rich guy at Texas Tech.
I don't know his name.
What's Caleb, Corey, something? What's his name?
I don't know.
He's the Boone Pickens of
but
of Texas
be
Tech.
that as it may, we all kind of got this idea.
Cody Campbell. Cody Campbell. How could we forget that?
But nobody talked about Cody Campbell. It was like
piss him off that we didn't know his name.
Nick Saban's going to save college football, and a couple of days later, Saban's like, "Well, I don't know that I don't know that I'm the guy," and I guess he was asked about it again, and he basically reiterated that he doesn't want to be part of this now.
Wait, I thought he was already co-commissioner.
Yeah, he was like the co-chair of the commission, and now he's saying, I'm not sure I want to be part of this.
Well, there was no commission there.
Yeah. There was actually not a commission. He was the co-chair of the commission that didn't exist.
It was spoken into existence.
And
he was unspeaking
yeah, that's exactly
out of existence.
Right. He was, because I'm sure, hey, this is just a hunch. But I'm going to guess they moved on to other things once they went back to Washington from Tuscaloosa. I'm going to guess.
Oh, yeah. And Miss Terry and Saban moved on. Nick moved on to Jupiter Island.
Maybe so. And so at that point, everybody just kind of dropped it. And, there's first off, there's going to be a lot of work involved in this. It's not going to be a ceremonial position.
Yeah.
And but it's just been interesting. And he did it again, I guess, yesterday. He basically said it one more time that, I'm not doing this. And so I guess we can give up on Nick Saban saving college football.
Well,
I don't know if there's going to be a presidential commission or not. But
to your point, it's a little deep to get into this, but to your point, doing all the work is different than having ideas, vision, and strategy.
Well, right.
And he's a great guy to go to get ideas, vision, and strategy. Hey, what are your thoughts? Give me some insight and kind of consult.
He's not a worker bee.
But being the guy that's sort of moving and shaking and politicking and getting people to change laws and all that, that's a whole different deal.
I mean, the guy's won a sports Emmy for crying out loud.
Oh, yeah, he won a sports Emmy. Who saw that coming?
Yeah.
Did anybody think that Saban wouldn't win a sports Emmy this year?
That was a given. That was hands down.
All right, let's go around the room. Did Nick Saban deserve a sports Emmy?
What are your thoughts,
Work on
Bart?
College Game Day and ESPN.
Good morning, Bart.
Good morning, Bart. Bart's a little.
What's
He's a little slow out of the
What's
gate.
the deal, Bart?
Bart's a little dauber down.
Well, no, we just had we had an issue with streaming to Twitter this morning, and it was a Twitter issue, as it almost always is, in the new situation they have going on there.
In the situation room, we have a situation.
And but it's since been resolved.
Well, don't let it get you down.
Yeah. We're up and running. So that was just where my focus was.
I got you.
Getting that going.
Well, I'm not sure that's really what's going on, but I appreciate
Here we go.
I know you, Bart. I know I've known you for 15 years, and I'm just going to take some guesses here at what's happening.
Oh, boy.
And my first one is you're emotionally drained from this softball run. And yet, well,
he's trying to recharge.
He has to have a little crash before he rises again, which he knows is coming on Friday. And everybody take a good look at Bart right now. Everybody look at him. This is what Wednesday looks like.
Hump day.
That's what Wednesday looks like. There's the camel right over there. This is Wednesday. And so That's
Come on,
feigned.
Bart, show us
that's
that
feigned
smile.
energy.
Come on.
That is fake
Come
energy
on.
over there.
Well, yeah.
But we're here, and by the way, you're not alone. You're not alone. There are thousands of Arkansans listening to the show right now, and millions of Americans listening to the show right now that are feeling
Millions.
the same way. Well, I mean, we just speak things into existence.
That's right.
Millions of Americans listening to the show
Maybe
right
as many
now.
as 7 million.
Maybe as many as $7 million.
I heard that.
Yeah. Well, hey, where did Boogie end up?
Florida.
Okay. How much money's he getting?
I don't know.
Well, you
North
said-
of 2 million
you
is
said-
all we know.
North.
North
That
of
could
2
be
Listen,
said.
million.
what I'm told, there's a secret $5 million in Saudi Arabia with a prince if he can just send him the password.
Yeah. Well, I bet he can.
And then he gets another $5 million. It's at 7.
That is.
But it is Wednesday, and you can feel it.
Yeah.
You can feel it. And
It was a late game last night, too. I don't know if you stayed and watched the
I
game.
did not.
I did not, no.
It was a late game last night. I did.
Listen, I'm on a streak of falling asleep on the couch.
Really?
Oh yeah, I guess
that happened
I guess
to me last night.
I'm
full
maybe a little
disclosure.
emotionally drained. A lot of stuff going on. Kid graduates high school, comes into adulthood, lets you know about it.
Yeah. In no uncertain terms.
Your parents come to town, forget you're an adult for a minute.
Yeah.
And then just regular life's continuing to happen, and you're working, and and then here's all this emotion. Like we had a count your blessings day yesterday. And on days like today, we got to count our blessings again when you're not feeling it. Is it because the women's golf team, lost on a playoff hole? Is that what it is?
Yeah, what's the deal? I mean, Bree Ellis was named National Player of the Year.
That's
John
right.
Boy Media declared her the greatest hitter in the history of softball.
He's great. He's fun.
He is really good.
He's really entertaining.
Yeah.
He does a good job. Meanwhile, I love Pat McAfee, but I can't watch any more Pat McAfee. And that's nothing against him. The amount of stuff coming through anytime I get on any social media platform from Pat McAfee
It's a lot.
is out of control.
It's a lot.
It's too much. And it made me wonder if maybe we need to dial back the exposure for the Chuck and Bo show. I mean, a lot of people are just, they're getting flooded with Chuck and Bo. We got to be careful.
He's
Can't have too
overexposed.
much.
He's overexposed. I mean, he's done everything from a Daily Show to wrestling to.
Can you know what he's thinking
he's all
today?
over the place.
He's like Nick Saban won an Emmy.
Yeah.
What about me?
Yeah.
What about me? I work harder. I entertain more. I have him eating out of my hands on College game day. I got to nudge Nick when it's his turn to talk. He won the Emmy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but McAfee made a lot of money now.
Oh.
McAfee made a lot of money.
Does he ever? Oh, and he's earned it. He's iconic in the field. He really is.
He's got to be careful, or his only audience is going to be his people, so to speak. The people that are into that, that wear the tank tops and call each other bros every
He's
other
not
word.
like us. Our demographic is vast.
Well, it's certainly not. Well, right. He's certainly not appealing to my demographic. But if he's not careful, that's what's going to happen.
He's not appealing to the guys who open their garage doors and watch
That's
it
right.
rain.
That's right.
He's not
But,
appealing to that crew.
I
right now.
admire. Hey, man, he is.
He's
got
so
a lot
talented.
of energy.
So talented.
He's got a lot of energy. And
Works hard.
He makes it happen. And there's a lot of people that depend on him. He's making money for a lot of other people too.
Bart.
I know.
Bart looks like a ring girl
know,
holding
man.
the number
I
up
know.
at a boxing match.
He's
when
like
he
walking
does
around.
that, but he does this right
Yeah,
here.
he's holding
Hey,
a sign.
y'all are
up.
the ones who asked me
Yeah.
we did.
to
We gotta
keep
be
you on
reminded.
track.
Yeah, we got to have it.
behind the scenes.
Bart will hold up a sign that basically tells us what to
Yeah.
do next. But he's gotten to the point where, instead of just holding it up because that's boring, he does the thing where he takes it
Yeah.
like from left to right as if he's showing the crowd.
Well, trying to follow our
I
eyes.
gotta get eye contact.
He's trying to follow our eyes.
Right,
when
that's
he does
exactly
that,
right.
Which is
At first, I was
Marty
holding it over on my
Feldman eyes
left,
over
and
here.
Chuck wasn't looking over
That's
here.
right.
And so
Suddenly
I
I
had
have
to
this-
move it to the right
I have
to
this
get Chuck to
blurry
look
image
at it.
all of a sudden of Bart, and there's like a bikini and a sign over there, and I don't know what's
I
going
know.
on.
Yeah.
Well,
Ring girl.
that's enough.
Here's
Enough. Hey, Chuck, why don't you tell us about
Yeah,
our
see,
friend?
here's the thing. Every time I say, hey, I want to talk about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. Really, it's Bart over there. So would you talk about Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company? I got this sign over here. I do like talking about them. They are my friends. And, the thing that I do like best about them is they're ingrained in the community. They've been here a long time. Been turning houses into homes since 1978. They like to say that, and it's true. Because they do turn houses into homes. And if you are in the market for a home, let them help you. Let them guide you, because they will. They'll help you find money maybe you didn't know was there. They'll help you find your dream home. If you wonder how much your home's worth, wonder if it's the right time to sell, maybe you need to sell. They'll be your partners there as well. That's been our experience, and that's why we recommend them. And I think it'll be your experience too.
True.
And true. Northwest Arkansas, Washington, Benton counties, Fort Smith, Branson, WeichertGriffin.com.
I'm grateful for them. It's 6:32. Good morning. Everybody's welcome to their opinion. That's just flat out wrong.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Flight by Yingling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass. Raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Hey, want to fly like a VIP? With Jet Aircraft, you skip the TSA lines, skip baggage claim, and fly on your schedule. The plane doesn't leave until you get there. You enjoy a full bar and food service for up to 9 passengers and plenty of room for luggage. Wherever you need to fly to or from, whether it's a special trip to the College World Series or golfing with buddies, round up your crew, split the cost, and fly private. Also, ask about the Jet Card. Visit jetnwa.com. That's Jet with 2 T's. Today's been it's been a strange day.
Yeah, we've had some struggles here and there. Let's just be blunt. Can we be blunt?
Well, it's 50-50 at best.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
am not a planner, and that's the problem.
How does that, this may be a little personal, sorry. How does that work in married life if you're not a planner?
Well, evidently not well.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
We've gotten to the bottom of this Emmy scandal. You know,
Well,
ESPN, they had this Emmy trouble a few years back. And I remember they came to poor Lee Corso's house and, like, took his Emmy from him.
Poor Lee.
I mean, he's in a wheelchair. He's over there. He's dying.
not in a
and they
wheelchair.
come take his Emmy. What happened on that, Bart?
Chuck says, he announces that we've gotten to the bottom of something.
Well, when I say we.
Nobody even knew that we were looking into it
Yeah.
because it was during the break.
Well, that's
whatever happened on that? Whatever happened on that ESPN scandal?
Well, we were talking
Whatever
about
happened
that.
on that Emmy
Sorry
thing where they
about
came
that.
to like Herb Street's house and
Sorry about
Corso's house in Orlando?
They did.
They made a mistake. They went to Lou Holtz's house first. He didn't have one. They realized they were at the
There
wrong
was this
place.
Emmy scandal.
They
They
both
handed
slithered-
out all these Emmys to ESPN people, and then ESPN had to give them all back.
Yeah.
And we were talking about that. I forgot we weren't on the air.
That's-
But and
As is often the
yeah,
case.
and yeah, really. And Bart's gotten to the bottom of it.
Yeah, so basically, ESPN staffers worked for years to secure Emmys for on-air personalities who were not normally eligible for the awards by using fake names and entering them in various categories. So the probe found that ESPN, for more than a decade, inserted fake names in entries to win more than 30 Emmys, then took the awards, removed the fraudulent nameplates,
God.
and had the statues engraved anew so they could be given to
Lee
on-air
Corso.
staff.
Okay.
Lee Corso.
I think we need a little more explanation. So as I understand it, it would be like a show. Okay. Let's say the show Sports Center or the show College Game Day wins an Emmy.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't go to the on-air talent. It goes to the producers of the show or whatever.
Yes.
So
I
they-
get the Emmy.
So yeah, so there's like 7 of you, and they thought internally, well, really it should go to the faces of the show. So we're just gonna make an adjustment here, and we're gonna give it to them. I think that's pretty much what happened.
Well,
so
it was worse than that.
well, but
They made up fake names.
but okay, but it starts with the fact that they actually did win the Emmys. Like ESPN actually won the Emmys.
Yeah,
You can't fake winning an Emmy.
Yes, most
I
of
mean, you
the-
can, but that's not what happened.
Right. Most of the controversy surrounded College Game Day.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's their bell cow.
So what? But what I'm
hang
saying,
hang on. This is actually better than I just got to.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Among the names found, the fraudulent names were Kirk Henry for Kirk Herbstreit, Lee Clark for Lee Corso, Dirk Howard for Desmond Howard,
Oh, my God.
Tim Richard for Tom Rinaldi, and Steve Ponder for Sam Ponder.
Oh, my God.
This is one of those deals.
How how obvious are you gonna make it?
That's awesome. I want to know the intern's name responsible for this.
Was that AI generated?
That's fantastic. I do remember reading that now.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
That's funny.
But that is the case. That's what happened. So basically the Emmy is presented, but the Emmy has its own way of doing it, saying these people don't actually win. The show wins, and it's the creators of the show or whatever. And ESPN's like, yeah, that's cool and everything, but we don't agree with you, so we're going to do what Bart just described. And then we're going to take the nameplate and make it say Herb Street.
You got to come up with better than Kirk Henry.
It's great. Kirk Henry, Clay's son. What an Emmy.
Son of Clay. That's funny.
They use at least one real name for each of these.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What would okay, here we go. What would we got to rename every Arkansas coach that would win like coach of the year?
Steve Pittman.
Dennis Van Horn.
Jack Calipari.
Yeah. Dennis Van Horn.
That's funny.
Dennis the Menace.
Oh, what a world. Matt Hobbs joins us at 8 o'clock today. So I don't know what's going to happen between now and then, judging by the way things are going
Courtney
so forward.
Deifel at
Not a lot.
8:30.
Yeah. What an 8 o'clock hour we're going to have. What a 7 o'clock hour we're going to have, too, whenever we get there. But right now, Eddie
Yes.
in Clarksville's here to win his own Emmy. on the Chuck and Bo Show. Good morning, Eddie.
Good morning, gentlemen. You know, I woke early, smelling that recipe baking in the oven. I said it many times. What is the recipe? The recipe for Hall Baseball and Softball Mojo, where you're sitting on display. How great is that? And for the fan base, if you're listening this morning, let me tell you something. Never take winning. I've said it before. Put this in your book, Chuck. I tell you what, my favorite dessert is baking in the oven. And I'll say it one more time because I think it's worth saying. You know, over the decades, my passion has blossomed. You know why? Because I tell you what, I've got to enjoy many moments. I'm seeing it right now. In the lady softball and the lady baseball hall trains, the whistle is starting to blow, and they're headed in to postseason play. As good as any team, playing as good as any team in the country, with one mission, with one purpose. Woo! I'm not Rick Flair. I'm not the nature boy. I'm the whistleblower from Brooksville, Arkansas, and my passion is starting to blossom. It's starting to blow out of me. It's blowing out of me. Woo! Why wouldn't it blow out of me? And I want to give a great appreciation. You just touched on, you know, to two coaches. Coach Courtney Doubtful came here to build a program, and boy, I mean, just look what she's done. Look what the players. You can tell their players are playing for her. They have a deep appreciation and love. They love one another, and they love our fan base. And who's going to beat us at Bogle Park, baby? Whoa! And you get to the baseball, the skipper, Coach Van Horn, consistently. You know, he didn't always get his dues. You know, some fan base want to criticize him because he hadn't won the national championship. I'd rather be this consistently good every year, but there's something different about this team. I tell you what, they're on a mission, and you can tell they love Coach Van Horn. They love one another, and that's why they're playing so well. That's why the recipe is baking in the oven. I'll tell you what, I called in yesterday. I told Phil Elson, the Flames, I want to give a great appreciation just when I think the fan base can't be any better. Well, I tell you what, you're the Flame, baby. And I tell you what, who's going to beat us at home? I mean, there's something not going to happen this year. We're not, I'm going to tell you this. We're not pretenders. We're contenders in the running for a national championship. And that's exactly where our Hawk trains are headed in the postseason with that whistle blowing. And put this in your books, Chuck. I tell you what.
Your cookbook.
I tell you what. You know, I told Phil Elson, the Flame, I mentioned Cheap Trick, the Flame, and that's exactly what our fan base is. Send it nationwide. But I tell you this, you're sitting on the playing field. And I'll leave you with this when I talk about performances on the field. Although, you know what both the lady softball and lady baseball hall trains are doing right now? Do you? I tell you what, you want to get an example, although he was a football player, I was in Death Valley, a place where dreams die. And I seen the greatest performance in 2007 I ever witnessed by a running back. His name was Darren McFadden. And you know what? Houston Nutt, he was right. He told, Mr. May and Lou Hope, you know, the crew, you better start paying attention to him.
Get him in the
It was the greatest performance I ever witnessed by a run. Roll the tape. And I'll tell you what, he brought the wood to the playing field. And you know what? Put him in the Heisman, baby. I'm going to tell you this. Let's play ball. Woo! Give him that whistle, fan base. Get your cookbooks out. Write down the recipe. Here it is. It's hitting. It's defense. Woo! It's pitching. And it's all coming together right now. Get aboard the Hall train. Can you see that whistle? Can you see the steam rolling out of it? Whoa! Thanks for taking my call.
Wow. Chuck, you've been around a while, and look, I don't mean that ugly, and Bo, you've been around not as long as Chuck.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, it's moms, dads, and grad season at Splash Car Wash, and they're running a special offer just for listeners of the Chuck and Bo Show. Right now, buy one best car wash and get two free. One for mom, one for dad, one for your favorite grad, or just keep one for yourself. We won't tell, because we know how good it feels to drive a clean car. Triple the shine with 3 car washes for only $27. Text Splash Arkansas to 22322 for the link to access this exclusive online offer.
We never thought much about power outages until we had one during the worst possible time. As a busy mom, there are plenty of challenges in a day. But with Paschal, power outages don't have to be one of them. A whole home generator installed by the pros at Paschal gave me back my peace of mind. The process was easy and understandable. Now, I don't have to worry about losing power when storms arrive. Get a free estimate today and keep the power on with a whole home generator from Paschal. Professional people, professional service. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Chevy of Fayetteville is kicking off end-of-the-year savings this May. Drive home a new 2025 Chevy Silverado starting at just $34,000. Get up to $6,000 off MSRP on a new 2025 Tahoe or Colorado. And up to $13,000 off a new 2025 Crew Cab Silverado. Don't miss these huge savings. Only at Chevy of Fayetteville. Together, let's drive.
Are you looking for tough, reliable equipment from people you can trust? WT Equipment is your local family-owned dealership with 8 locations across Arkansas. And yep, they're big-time hog fans too. From Bobcat to New Holland, Hustler, Steel, and more, they carry the brands you know and trust to get the job done. Whether it's equipment or implements, WT Equipment has the tools you need, including a full lineup of Bobcat machines built for power and performance. Stop by your nearest WT Equipment today.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
There's no better shopping experience than you're going to find at Macadoodles or at Guess Who in Bentonville. And every Wednesday is Wine Down Wednesday. 15% off every bottle of wine in the store, even if it's already on sale. But when it comes to selection, amazing prices, and unbeatable customer service, Macadoodles and Guess Who in Bentonville is second to none. Wine, beer, and spirits. Stock up for your next party or just stop by and grab your favorite. Macadoodles, just north of Bella Vista, and Guess Who in Bentonville.
How was Saturday night for you after the game? What'd you do to celebrate?
The only remedy, I thought maybe get a few cold beers in there and maybe help it out a little bit.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
used to be my opening line whenever I am seated at the debate. Chuck Barrett was unavailable, and last second, here I am. I'm always available. And so here we are today. Let's have a big time.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You know, some days, like, you're just looking for somebody to give you a smile. I mean, can somebody just smile at me? Can somebody just, maybe everybody's just got this, RBF. Like, can we just have a smile? And you know what I do when I need that? I go to First Security Bank. I just walk in. I have to look at sometimes I don't even need anything. I just go in there. I look around. I see all the smiles. About 5 people greet me. Hey, hey, hey.
Makes you feel good.
That's what you get.
You walk in and they go, Bo!
Like Norm from Cheers. No, it's not quite like that, but it is a welcoming environment and helping you bank better. Great professionals all over Arkansas. More convenient locations is what you get with First Security Bank, where you bank better. FSbank.com if you want to check them out online. First Security Bank, member FDIC, the official bank of the Chuck and Bo Show. What did you just discover over there?
What RBF stands for.
Haven't we been down this road before?
I don't know.
It's resting Bart face.
I had to look it up.
I don't know that I love that.
Resting Bo face.
I'm sorry.
Well,
the kids aren't even up yet. I mean, if they are, they're not in the vehicle yet, are they? Are they? I mean, we're fine here.
No, we're good.
Chuck said, "Wow." I was like, what's he talking about? What breaking news do we have?
No, I mean, I'm sorry. I just was thinking out loud.
Did Boogie not go to Florida?
No, he's going for 6, 7, 8 million.
Yeah, maybe 10. Yeah, I mean, you just don't ever know.
$20 million.
You don't ever know in today's
climate.
Well,
I mean,
you don't know. There's no record.
And all it takes, seriously, all it takes is one person tossing out a figure, and it spreads like wildfire, no matter what the figure is, because nobody knows. And it's like, well, that guy may know, and I don't want to take a chance that he knows, and I'm going to sound like I don't know. I got to say the number 2.
It has been pointed out to me that at some point common sense has to play a role here. And my response to that is there are common sense is being defied all over college athletics right now.
Well, I'm not sure what common sense is.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, it's certainly being redefined. That's for sure. But, these numbers get tossed out, and it's I take them all with a grain of salt. I do know that most of these guys are probably going to do pretty well.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention that Eddie's call, for me, it was in one of the top 25 calls of all time. It was a top 25er. I don't know if
top
it's
25 for Eddie or top 25 period?
Well, it's definitely top 25 period.
Yeah. Well, top 25 for Eddie and top 25 period, I guess, are the same thing.
He brought it pretty. He brought the hammer today.
He really did. And he's up early. And when everybody else is thinking, man, I got to get going. Eddie's been going for 2 hours.
We're 2 days away from any game being played,
I know. Imagine what, football season's going to be like.
I mean, he's got 2 days of that to get fired up.
Ty Story, high school football coach and former college quarterback.
I love coaching, but it's a lot more fun after LASIK. Now when I'm coaching, I can focus on my players and not my eyes. After LASIK, my eyes are even better than before when I had glasses or wore contacts. The McDonald Eye Team was great. They put me at ease. I couldn't believe how well I was seeing the day after surgery. Good vision and good football go together. I'm really glad I trusted my eyes to McDonald Eye Associates.
See your best with safe and affordable LASIK from McDonald Eye Associates. Register for your free consultation at mcdonaldeye.com.
Hey, you can beat inflation and upgrade your ride at Chevy of Fayetteville. Right now, drive home a brand new Chevy Silverado, Blazer, Equinox EV, or the Tough 2500 with rates as low as 1.9% APR. Plus, take advantage of huge discounts and get top dollar for your trade-in. Go see Chris, Mark, and Denver at Chevy of Fayetteville, where the deals are big and the road ahead is even better. Chevy of Fayetteville. Let's drive.
Some moments just call for something unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you don't just buy a diamond. You create an unforgettable experience. Their newly remodeled space is stunning with Cafe B right inside and their in-house diamond expert that'll help you find the perfect piece every time. That's just part of the Blakeman's experience. When you see the purple bag, you know it's something special. It always saves the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
With rainy season here and summer just around the corner, make sure your gutters are ready. Hogcroft Gutters, locally owned with over 30 years of experience, does it all. Seamless gutters made on site, trenching and French drain. Fully licensed and insured with a 20-year warranty on every job. Serving Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. And if you're outside those areas, just give them a call or a text. And for a free inspection, visit hoggutters.com. That's hoggutters.com.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I don't know what on time is for you, but yeah, you got here before the show started.
Whatever. Hey, have you ever seen anyone that takes so much pride in being the first one here?
Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
So apparently Chuck is in a cookbook.
Going to be published in the fall of 2025. So there you have
I don't know
it,
if I
right
can wait
there.
that long.
Oh,
Can I get a pre-cop?
So the bottom line is, I am going to have a recipe in there, fellas.
Yeah, what is it?
I have to sign a release saying it's okay for them to publish it for the masses.
Do they know that you stole it from someone else and it's not even
I'm
yours?
sure they suspect that, yes.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this much.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night, love y'all to death, Jeff.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward to it.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
I'm in my Sunday school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, "What's heard on the Chuck and Bo show?"
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
Well, it is a day. It is a Wednesday.
You know what day it is, don't you?
Hump Day.
Hump Day.
It's National Memo Day. If you want to write a memo, today is the day to do it.
Well, I love a good memo. You guys know that. But
do you journal? Are you a journaler?
No.
Journaler?
And I'm not going to be judged because I'm not.
Do you write you have handwritten notes?
I do write handwritten notes. Yes, in fact, I
look
mean,
forward to one of those.
every day, we get the rundown sheet from Bart, and by the time we're done, I have little notes all over the place. Because if I don't write it down, I forget.
I was kind of going this direction. Have you ever written or do you write a thoughtful note like, Bart, really appreciate what you do for the show. Thanks, Chuck.
I
send it in the mail.
I've done that before, but it's been a while, I'll admit.
We should start.
It's a nice gesture. It means
start
a lot when you get that.
We should start doing that. We can start doing it live on the air, like Jimmy Fallon. Start writing thank you notes to people on the air.
Is that what he does?
Yeah. Well, he I don't know. He had that. I think it's him. He had that segment.
That's his bit.
A while back. That was great.
Yeah.
That's what we used to do when we get like angry comments on the show back in the old days. I'd write, we call it friendly, and I'd write them a note back.
Friendly feedback?
Dear Bob, thanks for never listening to the show again.
Yeah, that's right.
Sincerely,
we will
Bo
miss
and
you.
the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Thanks for your honest commentary and your lack of bias and emotion. We appreciate you taking the time to send a page-long email about how you'll never listen to us again and how you wish death upon all of us.
Good times.
So, yeah, it's a memo day. Write a memo. How do you guys do your grocery list? Do you make a grocery list? Do you do it in the notes on your phone? Do you write it on a sticky note?
Phone notes.
Do you? Yeah.
I've evolved into that. Phone notes is a new thing for me.
It's big.
Literally, right
it's
here.
big. See, I have my list made out for today on my phone notes, but I can honestly tell you I'd never done that until a couple of months ago.
Well, it's big, and then you add voice texting to it. So you're driving down the road, and you want to mention, hey, don't forget to talk about Boogie on the show tomorrow. Bam, right there in your notes.
I have done that before, and then I forget to go back and listen to it. But I went to my voice memos one day. Man, that would have been a great idea 6 months ago.
You know who actually sends voice memos as a message?
I know.
David Basil.
Yes, he does.
Hey, Bo, Basil, and he'll just rattle off.
I know.
It's great because you get all the excitement of Basil, and it's not a text message.
You know who else does this? Matt Zimmerman.
He does?
He does
Oh,
that.
yeah.
He does that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the high energy, super enthusiastic people so far that
they don't have time to
do
text.
this.
Their brains won't slow down enough for them to actually physically text.
Yeah.
They have to just blurt it out. Yeah, Baz does that. Z does that.
They're just a beacon of energy and light.
I know.
It's great. Great people, just energy, just always just counting their blessings and sharing them with you.
Meanwhile, I'm swerving all over the road, trying to text, punching in with my thumb because I don't know how to do it.
Don't admit things like that. Not on the air.
Well.
We are on the air now, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
If you want to text or call the show, 877-377-6963. It is Wednesday. It is May 20th. Good morning. Boogie Flan has committed to Florida, not Arkansas. He's committed to Florida. Now, let's just rewind real quick. We were very quick in the first hour to explain, well, they've replaced him, and he's probably getting more money or whatever. But let's just talk about this for a second. Chuck kind of mentioned it. Are you sad to see him go? We had this whole conversation around all these new players, and you don't know who they are. And then over the course of a season, they play, you get to know them, you become family so in some way. Those are your guys. Those are who you're rooting. Those are the people you're rooting for. You kind of know their names now. And then Boogie gets hurt, and then he endears himself to Razorback fans by coming back when he didn't have to, and doing his best to try to help the team. And then so that was a message like, man, this guy's really in. And then after the season, I'm going to put my name in the draft, and if I'm not a first-round pick, I'm coming back. It's kind of the message that he sort of left around the building. And by the way, I'm not blaming him for anything. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying here. I'm just kind of laying out the story. And now he's committed to Florida. Like, what do you do with that as a fan? How does it make you feel? Does it matter? Or do you just say, that's cool? Like, we got one text, he can kick rocks. And it's like, whatever. Okay, you're that guy. I mean, maybe some people feel like that. I don't know. But that it's a little strange.
Well,
like, what do you do with this?
I think, in all honesty, when you say you get to know somebody, do we? Do we know Boogie?
Not personally.
Well, my point is this, is that particularly for a kid who's not from Arkansas, when they're just here a year, we don't love them unless they've won the national championship, of course, or told us how much they love us. My point is, if he'd been here 3 or 4 years, we'd have a love affair with the guy. We've got more fans that are sorry that Devo left than are sorry Boogie's leaving. And that's just the truth because, he was an Arkansas kid and he was here 3 or 4 years and people were sorry to see him go. I don't get that sense with Boogie. I'm not saying people are mad at him. I'm not saying they dislike him. I'm just saying they'll turn the page real fast.
Yeah, do people care, I guess, is the question. Or are they sort of apathetic or indifferent about him leaving?
I think that people have enough faith in Calipari and the direction of the basketball program right now that they feel like we're going to be okay, even without Boogie Flan.
I agree with that.
And I don't know that, you flash back 5, 10, 15 years. My gosh, if a player like Boogie Flan left, it'd be catastrophic. We would have taken 30 calls already this morning to fire the coach. But it's different now. And relationships seemingly are a lot more transactional than they once were. I hear Coach Cal talking about relationships with players, and I know he feels it in his heart. I know he does. And it's still the best way to do things. But sometimes from the outside looking in, you look at it and you go, wow, it's so transactional now. Does no one have any feeling for anyone anymore? But that's a long way of saying I don't think they're as bothered by it as they would be in a different era, because I just think there's the understanding now that this is how it's going to be. We're going to lose guys like this. We're going to get guys like this. For every Boogie we lose, we're going to bring somebody in, and their fans are going to feel the same way. But I'll tell you this, if someone had said to me yesterday morning, you're going to get Carter Knox and Adu Thero back, but you're going to lose Boogie Flan, do you take the trade? I'd have said 7 days a week.
Who wouldn't?
Absolutely.
Who wouldn't?
And if it comes to pass, and I know Matt, we played the cut earlier from Matt Norlander, if Adu comes back, and I believe Carter's coming back. I've always thought Carter was coming back. But if both those guys come back and Boogie doesn't, that's a good trade. That's a good trade for us.
Yeah, and it's not even about the trade, but it is about who you're getting back. And that makes your roster, man, so good.
Now, if Darius Acuff was not signed, sealed, and delivered, I don't know that people would feel the same way. I'm just not sure.
Here's Matt Norlander, CBS Sports, talking about Thero and Knox.
Adu Thero and Carter Knox, I think they both wind up back at Arkansas. Maybe Knox got a little bit more positive feedback than was expected, but I guess we wait and see on that.
That's just massive if that happens. The May 28th is the deadline for players to get their name out of the
draft.
It's
the best returning roster in college basketball if those guys come back. And it's not all that far right now.
And it's a bunch of retention.
Right.
A bunch of guys that have played together and know what the coaches are like, and what Cal talked about on one of these road shows where he mentioned the idea of some of the teams they played this year had a lot of guys coming back. They're losing those guys, and now Arkansas's got a lot of guys coming back.
That's right.
And that's a good spot to be in today's game. All right, JR's in Shady Grove. JR, your thoughts on the Chuck and Bo Show?
Morning, guys. How y'all doing?
Well, we're doing great.
Good. I I got a question about baseball real quick. The tournament, I guess, started last night. Does this tournament have any influence on these regional seedings and how that all does that play into that in any way?
Not a lot. I won't say it doesn't at all, but not a lot. I think most of the teams that make the tournament from the SEC that don't host are going to be 2 seeds. You might have a 3 in there. Sometimes for a team like Texas A&M getting in, it's a big deal for them. You might have a school, and I'm trying to think of some of the teams that are at the bottom of the pecking order right now that are getting in.
Did you mention Tennessee? They might play their way into being able to host a regional.
I think they're going to. Yes, they've got that opportunity. The tournament's different this year. By the way, I guess Ole Miss and Florida play today. Florida won yesterday, and they'll. I think Arkansas plays the winner of that one on Friday.
It can from time to time. This year, not really. Maybe at the Chuck was talking at the bottom, somebody might play their way into being able to host that.
Doesn't
first
affect
weekend,
us. I'll put it that way.
But I don't think it affects any of the top teams.
No.
Do you think that Van Horn pulls some people out of the bullpen just to get them some playing time that we may need down the stretch, or do you think he goes with Root?
No, here's the thing.
He goes with Root?
Yeah, here's the thing. This is like another 3-game series because in fact that's what it is. Like you're only going to play at max 3 games. And what you don't want to do is, and Chuck, correct me if you feel differently, what you don't want to do is get your guys out of their rotation and rhythm. Like you enjoy the fact that you get to go play and kind of keep things going this weekend, I would think. Now, there used to be, and for Florida or South Carolina who played last night, this is a very long week. It's a totally different situation. But for the top seeds in the tournament, they only have to play maximum 3 games. And if they lose, they come home. But you either win 3 in a row, or whenever you lose, you come home, but max 3 games. So I think you mostly stick with what you've been doing.
You might not go with the guys long. Like, for example, if you've got a pitcher at, close to 100 pitches, if it was a different situation and you really needed to win that game, you might stick with him. You might not even get to that point in the tournament. You may pull your starting pitcher a little bit sooner, but there's a day-to-day rhythm to baseball. This is not like some of the other sports, and the only way you get hot in baseball is to play games. There's got to be the day-to-day rhythm to the game, and that's what you get into, and those are the teams that end up winning it all toward the end of June. So I don't particularly with this format, I don't think you radically alter things.
Thanks for the call.
Thank you. Y'all have a good day.
Yeah, you too, JR. Eric in Fort Smith, I know y'all are talking basketball, but would it be okay if I called in and talked baseball? JR didn't bother to ask. He just called in, which is fine. And in all seriousness, you want to ask or talk about something, just bring it. We'll manage. 877-377-6963. That's what we're here for. You got to sell a lawnmower? You need advice on
if Eric doesn't call in and ask a really good question about baseball, he will have missed it.
If you need a tea time at Big Creek and Mountain Home, we can help you there.
Yeah, that's right.
We can do, we're here for you. I know it doesn't always sound like it. Sometimes it feels like we're here for Bart. We're here for you. Hey, Bart, how are you? What's going on over there? Chevy of Fayetteville Situation Room.
Just laughing at a typo in a text because it was really funny.
Well, share it
with the room. Are you going to share it with the whole room?
Is it personally funny? Just chuckle to yourself, or is it?
Will everyone find it?
I don't know. The jury's out. This is a text from Russell in Boonville.
Is Chuck going to find it funny, like ha-ha funny, or broadcast funny? Is he going to find it that funny?
I'll give it a broadcast laugh.
Which funny is it going to be?
Broadcaster's laugh.
It starts out, I feel like Coach Cow, C-O-W. I feel like Coach Cow already knew this was going to happen. That's why we got the new players in place that we do, and we're going to do just fine without him. Talking about Boogie Fland.
Is that the same person
Cow, C-O-W.
inquired about Jerry Palm's brother Ken back in basketball season? Ken Palm?
I'm going to start playing the laugh for your comment. That's a perfect one, too. Jerry Palm's brother, Ken.
Yeah,
Ken Palm.
That was my favorite text.
Yeah.
What does Jerry Palm's brother Ken think about it?
Well, if you think about it, you don't ever see the names.
I know.
That's kind of what they
I
sound
know.
like.
I wasn't making fun. I was just saying I found it funny.
We've got, here's from the 479, can we talk about track and field? And they've got a laughing, they think they're funny. They got a laughing emoji.
Oh, wow.
Well, we did. We talked about it yesterday.
We did.
They won. Congratulations. What else we got here? I don't really care if a kid leaves anymore. To them, it's all about who's going to pay me more. And then that was from Eric in Fort Smith also. Or no, who was that from? I want to give credit where credit is due. But they're coming in so fast now, I can't keep up with where.
Coming in hot.
We played without them before. That was Steve in Bentonville. Played without Boogie before. All right, we'll take more calls when we come back. We got to hit a break. But if you want to get in here, 877-377-6963. Now it's a good time to tell you about Oaklawn. Oaklawn's got great events going on, including this weekend. They're giving a boat away this weekend, Chuck. So if you're in the business for a free boat, they got a Cobalt CS23 ski boat. They're giving away this Saturday as part of a promotion going on at Oaklawn. Visit oaklawn.com for all the details. Hey, don't forget, they got a complete resort now. An amazing hotel, an amazing Forbes 4-star spa, unlike you'll find anywhere in the state. And events. Look at the schedule. Go to the website, look at the event schedule coming up. Oaklawn.com. Loverboy's coming Friday. The Righteous Brothers, that's the 12th of September. Then a week from that is when the Righteous Brothers are coming. Just two of the events coming soon to Oaklawn. Oaklawn.com. Check it out today.
You can tell I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I'm Dr. Scotty Bolding, a native Arkansan oral and maxillofacial surgeon. One of my goals is to make Arkansans healthier.
If you have sleep disorder breathing, it's important to treat it properly. The standard treatment's a breathing machine called CPAP. It helps you breathe during the night. However, there are other options thanks to some truly innovative and proven technologies.
Sleep is probably God's gift of medicine that we really don't utilize enough. If you have obstructive sleep apnea, it needs to be treated. So you need to be wearing your CPAP. So if you're not wearing your CPAP, there are some potential surgical solutions that can help you that actually work today. By correcting the jaw deformities that may be causing this obstructive sleep apnea is where we focus.
Dr. Bolding at Precedent Center for Facial and Dental Medicine works carefully with your sleep physician, determines where the underlying obstruction may be, and provides surgical solutions that open the airway, allowing you to breathe better.
Hey, give us a call, 479-755-3000, or log on to our website, precedent.com, PRECIDENT. We'd love to help.
Buying or selling a home's a big deal, and you want someone who is with you every step of the way. That's why those of us at the Chuck and Bo Show wholeheartedly recommend Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, because we've experienced it. They've been my partners for life. They're Bo's partner now, and I promise you, when you become involved with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, they'll become your partners for life too. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978, and you can always log on and check out their selection at WeicherGriffin.com.
There's no better shopping experience than you're going to find at Macadoodles or at Guess Who in Bentonville. And every Wednesday is Wine Down Wednesday. 15% off every bottle of wine in the store, even if it's already on sale. But when it comes to selection, amazing prices, and unbeatable customer service, Macadoodles and Guess Who in Bentonville is second to none. Wine, beer, and spirits. Stock up for your next party or just stop by and grab your favorite. Macadoodles, just north of Bella Vista, and Guess Who in Bentonville.
There's nothing like a college football Saturday, a few beers, your phone, and Twitter.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
we have a very strict goofing off policy around here. We're all for it.
Well, a certain amount's required. It's in our contract.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Cecil is on the line in Fort Smith. Cecil, you're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, guys. How y'all doing? Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, turn that radio down.
Chuck sounds great.
Yeah, who's that clown behind you?
No. I have y'all on YouTube.
I'm going to go down to the car and listen real quick. That sounded great. Oh, it's going to maybe listen to this.
Yeah.
I'll be back.
No, I'm watching you. I'm watching y'all on my other phone.
Okay. Well, glad
Are
you're here.
Are you calling us on the burner or watching us on the burner?
I'm watching you on the burner.
Okay, all right.
That's awesome.
Cecil's got a lot of devices working, man.
Hey, Chuck.
Yes.
Chuck, man, you look much younger without your glasses, man. I got to get used
How
to
about
that.
that? How about Chuck?
You look good,
for
Chuck.
Chuck.
You look
Looking
good, buddy.
good.
Well, you know.
You look good, man.
I'm defying the age experts, Cecil.
Yeah. Hey, I finally got used to the theme music, man. And then the old theme music, I can't even remember what it sounded like. And when I first heard this one, I'm like, what is this? Now it's pretty cool now, so.
That will keep you moving. He keeps you guessing.
Theme music?
I don't know.
Yeah, man. I'm just waking up. Well, I've been up. I take that back. But I'm alive and blessed.
Too.
And listening to my favorite station, man. I've been switching back and forth because Stephen A. It's the playoffs, and I try to keep up with my little bets on Saracen, and it's just great. It's just great, man. I love sports. I'm a sport junkie. I got Hog syringes, OKC syringes all over the room, everywhere.
Cecil's living his best life right now.
Yeah, I love it, man. Hey, I'm not rich, but I'm happy. Just put it like that.
Man, well, then you're rich.
Yeah, but I'm happy for Boogie, man. He's a basketball player, and I knew he was stressed out, and I hope Carter Knox come back so we can win a championship and keep moving on, man. Boy. And them Thunder, they was thundering like the other day.
They blew 'em out.
It woke me up at 5 a.m. just thundering. Boy, they smoking big. I don't get it. With how that coach with the rotation. He blows my mind. I don't understand it. Like Isaiah don't play for a game or two, and then when he go in, he plays for 3 minutes. He come in and hit a tray and get a rebound. He don't play no more. Then he goes in, comes in and plays a little bit more, and then Jalen plays, holds Joker. He was the only one could hold Joker, and then he freezes him out. And I just don't get it.
They're playing pretty good right now, Cecil. I don't think I'd be messing with much.
Well, yeah, they definitely playing pretty good. They 13 deep, and they got a really good team, man. All of them can shoot and everything. And it's going to be New York and the Thunder in the championship.
But we need our Fort Smith guys to play more.
Yeah.
I mean, for real, I get how he feels.
Hey, I ain't just saying that because they're from Fort Smith.
I know.
Jalen is
you're
great.
fans. But we all want the players we like to see play to play.
Most definitely.
Whatever buttons he's pushing, their coach, whatever buttons he's pushing, he needs to keep pushing them. Because right now they are that Game 7 win over Denver was that was a watershed moment, I think, for that franchise. And they're going to be hard to beat this year.
Big time. And that super team, they cut that out. So Giannis, I'm curious on where he's going to end up at, and it's just a big old mess, man, right now. But it's interesting. Like I say, I love my sports, man, and I love listening to y'all. And
thanks, Cecil.
We love you, Cecil. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
I appreciate y'all, man. You know I do.
Always great.
Right.
Appreciate you. Always great to hear from you.
The Oklahoma City Thunder, their first conference finals game since 2016, wins handily as Anthony Edwards and the T-Wolves will regroup and get ready for Thursday night.
114-88. That's the final. The Thunder beat the T-Wolves. They turned 19 turnovers into 31 points. Isaiah Joe had 7.
He did hit an early three. I was watching
rebounds.
it. I know exactly what Cecil was talking about. He comes in, and I'm thinking, well, Cecil says he's not playing.
He had 7 and 8. 7 points, 8 rebounds in 13 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's called efficiency.
That's maximizing the 13 minutes.
Gary's in Fort Smith. Gary, good morning. You're on the Chuck and Bo Show.
Good morning, guys.
Hey,
I hate to say this, but Chuck, you were right. The deal about Boogie, it ain't about the money. With the people that Coach Cal brought in, is playing time. He needs playing time to show what he can do for the NBA scouts and all that. And with everybody we got coming in, it's hard to put him at a wing because he's a true point guard, and it's hard to take DJ out of it.
Yep.
Because he did so well.
Well, and A-Cup's
so
coming
I
in.
think it was more playing time than it was money.
Well, I agree. I think it's all of
combination.
it. I think it's all of it. Yeah. But you're right. I mean, and listen, I don't fault Boogie for any of that. And I think Arkansas. Look, I really believe that they're fine. The players they brought in and having DJ come back, they're fine. And now if they bring Thiero and Knox back, if they're able to get those two back, that's huge. If they don't, it'll be interesting to see who they get out of the transfer portal to replace either one of those guys. But I'm sure they've got something in mind for that too. And you said it earlier, Chuck, and I think it's just true. If you're paying attention to Cal, you're not worried about your roster.
No.
If you pay attention to Cal, you really don't worry about your roster. You pay attention to who's coming, who's going, and guys you know, and they're a known commodity here, you'd love to have back. It's a great question. How would Boogie fit if he did come back with this team? I don't know the answer to that, but it does seem like it takes some figuring out. You always take great players, but I think they're fine at the point guard position.
Oh, as I've said before, you just take what you got right now and let's go play.
Let's go.
And if you bring Knox and Thiero back, I mean, you're far better off than you were a year ago.
Yeah.
So I mean, look, Cecil said something a minute ago, just real simple. Boogie's a basketball player. You know, he's going to go play basketball. He's going to go where he feels like he's got the best opportunity to do what he does, and that's play basketball.
Lots of minutes.
You know, I had someone suggest to me yesterday, and I didn't really know what to say. Did Boogie come back for us, or did he come back for the NBA at the end of the season? Did he come back to play for the Razerbacks, or did he come back to, see if maybe he'd get back in the first round? I don't know the answer to that. I don't know that it matters.
No, I mean, that's good business.
Yeah.
Good for both of those
absolutely. Things. And if he came back for that reason, so what?
Yeah.
But, he's going to go down there, and he feels like it's the best situation for him. We're going to be fine. Based on everything that we see. I mean, it's hard to imagine that, Darius Acup's going to come in and not be as good as Boogie was. It's hard to imagine. And if all these other guys, just the guys that have already said they're coming back and the news we're hearing about these other two, I think they're in great shape.
Absolutely. The roster, all they got to do at this point is stop by Foot Locker and pick up whatever they want to wear.
Well,
I mean, they're good to go.
No, you're right.
And maybe
Foot Locker still open?
Get a ball from Academy.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Is it?
I think so.
Is there still Foot Locker
Champs.
around?
Champs.
Champs.
Foot Locker.
Wow. You remember you go to the
Pick up
mall,
some
man,
shoes,
those
man.
were must-stop.
Yeah, you got to get some kicks.
Foot Locker is definitely still in
When's
existence.
the last time you put on a pair of sneakers, or what do you call them? Tennis shoes, sneakers? What do you call them?
I call them tennis shoes.
Okay. When's the last time you put on a pair of those and Champs and sprinted 10 yards to see what they felt like in the store?
Want to walk around the store, see what those feel like? Nah, I'm good, man. I'm good.
It's been a minute.
Remember when you did that?
Yeah.
You got to, take off running.
Now you just know your size. You just order online what you want.
That's right.
That's so. I don't know. It just brings great joy to me when I walk into one of those stores and I see a kid doing that.
Why don't you go do
Oh,
that
it's
today?
a kid thing. It's great when you see a kid doing that.
No,
You're
I think you should do it today.
Hey, I will say, whether you're 8 or 70, getting a new pair of shoes that feel good still feels the same.
Let's go to Foot Locker and watch Bo sprint down the aisle.
Yeah, I'm in.
Try on a pair of shoes and take off.
I'm going to do the Forrest Gump and run right out of the store and out the whole mall.
Aisle to aisle.
All the
then
way
run
through the
out.
parking lot.
Security running after him. It'll be great.
We'll shoot it real well. We'll have a drone waiting outside the mall for me. Just pick me up and never be seen again.
Yeah. Hey, before we go to a break, WT Equipment, family owned, right here in Northwest Arkansas and all around our state as well. They've got 8 locations across Arkansas. WT Equipment is a family-owned, locally operated equipment and implement dealership. Now, if you're in Northwest Arkansas, you've probably heard the name Williams Tractor forever. WT Equipment is what they go by now, but it is the same great service, same great equipment. New Holland, Hustler, Steel, the legendary Bobcat, an expert staff, dependable equipment, hometown values. WT Equipment is the go-to choice across the natural state. Visit your nearest WT Equipment location today.
You guys are part of my family. Everyone that listens to this show is just part of the Chuck and Bo family. We're building a community here.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park and sparkling lakes, Oaklawn is your home base for everything the region has to offer. Come stay, play, and get away at Oaklawn, a Forbes Travel Guide recommended hotel. Make your reservation at oaklawn.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
If you haven't tried a flight by Yuengling, you're missing out on the great taste of Yuengling that is a light beer. It's the next generation of light beer. Get it on draft, in the can, the new skinny cans, and now the new 16-ounce resealable twist-off aluminum bottle. Perfect for any occasion. It's just 95 calories, and you're still enjoying a Yuengling. Take your beer game to new heights with Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer. When is the last time you thought, oh, the SEC's making an announcement today, and it's going to be good for the Hogs?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
If you've got any human instinct about you at all, you can tell whether somebody gives a rip.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Oh, the Chevy of Fayetteville Situation Room is
hopping.
Smoke coming out over there, and it's got nothing to do with
everybody knew but us.
Yeah, we mentioned Foot Locker. Bang!
I mean, it's like
Look at
response
all
after
all
response.
the texts we got, just like we say Foot Locker. And, hey, Dick's what? What's going on?
Dick's Sporting Goods? Is
Let's
that the
go
story,
to
Bart?
Chevy of Fayetteville Situation Room and talk to Edward. Edward took the first call.
Edward took the call, and then the avalanche of texts followed.
Well, Shane in Fayetteville called, and he said, I don't want to go
He
on
also
the air.
texted. He also
I don't want to
texted.
go on the air. Just pass this along. Foot Locker is being bought out by Dick's Sporting Goods.
And that has also been pointed out by numerous other texters.
I wonder what that means.
So I guess it's a hot
What does it all
story.
mean?
I mean, what are we to expect now? Do you see Maverick bought out all the come and goes? I don't know what's going on in that place anymore. Like, I don't know what they're doing. It's like, join the great adventure. And I'm like, what adventure? Like, it's a convenience store.
It's
I'm getting gas.
It's a very strange branding.
Like at every pump.
Sometimes it is an
Hey,
adventure.
you want to hike up a mountain? Come in here and get a Snickers. I mean, like, what is happening?
It's very strange.
But we're talking about
brand choices.
So
They pay lots of money to rebrand.
I don't know. I feel like more like a man when I walk into Maverick.
Yeah.
Do you?
Feel more like a sports person.
It
if
doesn't
you
take
walk
much,
into
Bart.
Dick's Sporting Goods as opposed to Foot Locker.
I feel the same way when I walk into a Dollar General. So if that tells you anything.
I guess Maverick was like a Western chain of gas stations. Fuels adventures in more than 380 locations across 12 Western states.
I don't want a fuel adventure. I just want to.
What
fuel
is
my
it with
car.
adventure and buying gas?
It's the largest independent fuel marketer in the Intermountain
If you want an
West.
adventure, go to Buc-ee's. I mean, that's an adventure. Buying gas at the come and go is not an adventure.
The Maverick.
Or, I'm sorry,
The
Maverick.
Maverick has premium bonfire food. I don't know what that means.
What the hell? Is
Cooked
that?
over a bonfire.
You think they just have like a wood fire going?
Premium. I have,
They're
I have
cooking
to
stuff
go.
over
I've
it.
got to go. I've got to see what
Outback.
premium bonfire foods mean.
Well,
Fresh made
I've
gourmet
gotta go.
burritos.
You know, a bonfire at a gas station just do go hand in hand. You know, when I think you're going to get gas, I think of a bonfire.
And then you hit that emergency shutoff button.
Yeah, I mean, it's
First thing you do is look for a fire extinguisher.
I know.
I think what they have is the section, that amounts to the size of, the Edwards computer over there of adventure food.
Adventure food.
Like if you,
I've got the whole backstory about how
protein
it started,
bars.
If we want to get into it.
Well, let's not get carried away.
1928.
I don't know. I think
Get delicious bonfire burritos, salads, wraps, pizzas, sandwiches, and countless other meal items to start your day.
Now, is bonfire like a brand name, or do they
I
actually
think-
have a bonfire?
No, it's B-O-N. It's spelled bonfire, but the B and the F are capitalized.
Well,
And
it's
it's
a branding
and it's
trick.
trademark.
It's
Yeah.
a branding
Brand.
trick.
It's
they
trademarked.
don't have a bonfire.
They're making you think
Store,
they have
you
a
idiot.
bonfire.
I didn't think they did.
I'm talking to Chuck.
I did.
This moron over here is like, what do you mean? Like, when you walk in, you're like, are they making s'mores in the middle of the store?
Well, that's what I
And
thought.
Chuck's like, well, it's an adventure, isn't it? Isn't that
Well,
what they promised?
It was the adventure. My mind began to wander.
I'm going in there today.
I ran with it.
And I'm going to get whatever I'm getting, and I'm going to check out when I get done. I'm going to look at the person behind the counter, and I'm going to go, that's it? That's it? I came here for an adventure.
I'm just
That's
waiting on
it?
all the
That's
text.
all I get?
I just want the text with all the history of the bonfire brand, because I'm sure that's coming in over the next couple
Hey,
of minutes.
if you want to have a real adventure, go get you a Chevy Silverado.
I know, and that's an
That
adventure.
Chevy of Fayetteville. Now you can go on an adventure. And we're running out of days in May. And the end of year savings is happening in May. They took the end of the year savings, they put them in May, and right now you get a brand new 2025 Chevy Silverado starting at just $34K. Looking for something bigger? The Tahoe, get up to $6,000 off MSRP. The Chevy Colorado, same thing, $6,000 off MSRP. And if you want to go big, the new 25 Crew Cab Silverado is up to $13,000 off. It's all happening right now only at Chevy of Fayetteville. Together, let's drive. Hey, by the way, I went into Cracker Barrel the other day.
Yeah.
It's been 15 years.
Sitting the rocker out
Been
front.
15 years.
Food is terrible there.
Wow.
It is.
Edward.
We went like a year ago.
Edward.
It's horrible.
Edward. Edward!
It was horrible. It used to be good.
From the clouds, Edward comes in.
From the top rope, man.
The worst breakfast I've had in the last year.
I thought it was fine. What'd you get?
Biscuits and gravy.
Maybe. Well,
it was
I mean,
horrible.
okay,
It was
well, come
horrible.
on. Look, you got to go something a little.
My
more.
wife got a pancake. It was subpar.
Jeez.
It was subpar.
They just wanted you to go out the store and buy some other stuff.
Holy cow.
Yeah, wow.
The store is fine.
Wow. Have you been to Red Lobster lately? Well,
No, but I don't think I'd enjoy it.
Did you buy some trinkets out front after you got done with this terrible breakfast?
No, but we did play with the Magic 8 Ball for a while.
Okay.
You can't make this.
No, you can't. Was this a Saturday morning, I'm just guessing?
Good mercy.
Saturday morning?
I don't know.
Get us out of here. Well, how's Denny's? You know, it's like when you try to take a picture of this amazing thing you see, and you look at the picture you take in your phone, and it's not the same. Like what it looks like
Every
when
time
you're-
I take a selfie?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
With rainy season here and summer just around the corner, make sure your gutters are ready. Hogcroft Gutters, locally owned with over 30 years of experience, does it all. Seamless gutters made on site, trenching and French drain. Fully licensed and insured with a 20-year warranty on every job. Serving Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. And if you're outside those areas, just give them a call or a text. And for a free inspection, visit hoggutters.com. That's hoggutters.com.
Hey, want to fly like a VIP? With Jet Aircraft, you skip the TSA lines, skip baggage claim, and fly on your schedule. The plane doesn't leave until you get there. You enjoy a full bar and food service for up to 9 passengers and plenty of room for luggage. Wherever you need to fly to or from, whether it's a special trip to the College World Series or golfing with buddies, round up your crew, split the cost, and fly private. Also, ask about the Jet card. Visit jetnwa.com. That's Jet with 2 T's.
Hey, it's moms, dads, and grad season at Splash Car Wash, and they're running a special offer just for listeners of the Chuck and Bo Show. Right now, buy one best car wash and get 2 free. One for mom, one for dad, one for your favorite grad, or just keep one for yourself. We won't tell, because we know how good it feels to drive a clean car. Triple the shine with 3 car washes for only $27. Text Splash Arkansas to 22322 for the link to access this exclusive online offer.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
Hey, it's Bo Mattingly, and McDonald Eye Associates is my one-stop for any vision need. The progressives they have me in are a game changer, and my new sunglasses are going to be great for baseball season. McDonald Eye was the first practice in the state to perform LASIK, and they have the most experience. They also have the new vision correction options for all ages, including cataract and clear lens replacement to see your best from all distances. For your best vision, McDonald Eye is the place to go.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, if you're struggling to get your Social Security disability, or you're buried in debt thinking about bankruptcy, don't wait. You need a legal team that knows how to fight for Arkansans.
That's why you can trust Cadell Reynolds. Bill Reynolds and his team know how to get results when it matters most. Whether it's personal injury, disability, or bankruptcy, they've got your back.
Dial 866-314-3728 or visit CadellReynolds.com today.
Cadell Reynolds. Make the right call.
Yeah, does Chuck sleep that much? Because it just sometimes.
He's old, so when you get old, you don't really sleep as much.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Wow, the text line's on fire today.
Now, there's a difference between
The show's
fire and burning to the ground. I mean, there's a difference.
Yeah.
And we've straddled the line, but there is fire involved.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Oh, what a day. What a day. Matt Hobbs is going to join us at 8. Arkansas pitching coach. Literally one of the most interesting people in the world.
Literally.
He's an interesting fella. Good coach, interesting guy. And we'll talk to him. We've really put the pressure on him now. He's got to be.
He's got to come with it today.
I wonder if he's been in a Maverick lately. I'm going to go in there today.
I don't know if you've heard, but they bought out Come and
I'm going to go in today with my cell phone turned on, video, and be like, tell me about the adventure.
Yeah. Who's that creepy guy?
They wound up dead.
Keith Morrison.
Dateline NBC wants to know what kind of adventure is going on here.
What is the adventure?
So Matt Hobbs at 8, Courtney Deifel at 8:30. Bree Ellis is Softball America's National Player of the Year. How about that?
Bree Ellis, woo, the queen sucked the SWAT.
Yeah.
The Queen, Sultan of SWAT.
Did Eddie really say
Eddie, yeah.
ladies baseball earlier?
I don't know.
The ladies
We've gotten some
baseball
text
team?
that said ladies baseball. I missed that. If Eddie said, if he referred to softball as
A
ladies.
league of their own? Is that what he's
Bree
talking?
Ellis, woo, the queen sucked the SWAT.
Oh, man. She was first team All-American, too, with Softball America. Pitcher Robert Herron was second team honors. Third baseman Ella McDowell. Pitcher Peyton Burnham, named freshman All-Americans. I mean, that's what happens when you have a good team, Chuck. You get a bunch of honors.
Well, and we're lucky as fans to be able to watch her. And I think about Bree Ellis and Vahiva Aloy, and there are other great players out there too. We've had players of the year in sports, over the seasons past. But when you get to watch a great player like that, you need to enjoy it because they don't come around every day.
Yeah, I mean, the Aloy brothers they are quite a story too. I mean, we talked to Jamie Aloy. When we look ahead to the SEC tournament now, Florida beat South Carolina last night, and so they're going to play Ole Miss, and Arkansas will play the winner.
Okay, that's it.
Of that game.
That's what happened.
Is that Friday? Yeah,
Friday afternoon.
Okay,
yes.
Friday. So we got softball and baseball.
There's a lot.
Ladies baseball, and men's baseball,
men's and women's baseball
on Friday.
Yes, baseball I believe at 3, and then softball in the evening.
You got Chuck to a game. Can you get Eddie to a game? Eddie needs to take me out to the ball game. 7th inning stretch.
I want Eddie to sit with Bart. That's what I'd like to
see.
Would you invite Eddie to sit with you, break a little bread, watch some softball together?
Share some peanuts?
I mean, probably.
Crack some peanuts together?
Probably would, yeah.
I don't understand the hesitation here. I would do it.
See, Bart, you're the ambassador right now.
Okay.
I mean, and you were a wonderful ambassador when I came by the other day. Welcoming, it was almost as though I came to Bart's house. I mean, he was, come on in, man. Would you like something to drink? But, Eddie needs that too.
I continue to tell you guys, like, if you're celebrating or marking a moment, like Bree Ellis, when do we find out about the Golden Spikes Award?
Soon.
For baseball. Like, and then we have the Hauser.
It's probably around the College World Series.
It's right before the
my
College
guess.
World
Yeah.
Series, I
Okay.
believe.
And do we think Aloy's got a legitimate shot at that award?
He's in the hunt.
I know he's a finalist, right?
Yeah.
He just won Player of the Year in the best conference in baseball. I mean, he's in the hunt.
If you're marking your moments, you can do it at Blakeman's. They're marking their moments all over the softball and baseball teams. If you have a special occasion, you want to mark it as a memorable thing, you can do that at Blakeman's. A selection of watches and jewelry, and that's where Arkansas gets engaged, but it's really about the experience of going in there and the people who are there that will help you tell the story you want to tell. Mark the moment you want to remember. It's more about your story than it is the jewelry at Blakeman's Fine Jewelry, the official jeweler of the Arkansas Razorbacks and the Chuck and Bo Show. The purple bag will fix any day. It'll turn a frown upside down, Chuck.
It will.
Bart had one to start the show today. It's been gone, ever since 6:10
I was worried about
this
Bart
morning.
a
I
little
was
bit.
too.
I was worried.
He
I
came
was
in here
worried
with the
something had happened.
Wednesday blues.
I know.
And he's
And look at him
smiling.
now.
Oh,
Look at him now.
He
got that big smile on
the
his
engine
face.
cranked
again.
up. He's rolling. I don't know if it was Maverick or what, but Dick's bought Footloose. Maverick bought Come and Go.
Locker.
Anyhow, it's almost 8 o'clock. Matt Hobbs is next. Footloose and fancy
First
free.
Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Some moments just call for something unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you don't just buy a diamond. You create an unforgettable experience. Their newly remodeled space is stunning with Cafe B right inside and their in-house diamond expert that'll help you find the perfect piece every time. That's just part of the Blakeman's experience. When you see the purple bag, you know it's something special. It always saves the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
Chevy of Fayetteville is kicking off end-of-the-year savings this May. Drive home a new 2025 Chevy Silverado starting at just $34,000. Get up to $6,000 off MSRP on a new 2025 Tahoe or Colorado. And up to $13,000 off a new 2025 Crew Cab Silverado. Don't miss these huge savings. Only at Chevy of Fayetteville. Together, let's drive.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweat No Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to sweatnomcosmetic.com and click on the Sweat No Edge. Why don't you just kind of style it up a little bit at the game? Let's get your drip going.
Hey, I got a lot more drip than you think.
The Chuck and Bo Show. Previously heard on Chuck and Bo.
We keep hearing Arkansas's got what it takes to win it all. What do you think?
They're not winning every game.
Yeah, what do you think of the Razorbacks?
I'm going to make this reference to the age group that is shared on this phone call right now, and maybe not entirely to the listeners. Remember Cindy Crawford? She was pretty hot, wasn't she? And she had a big old mole on her face. But she was pretty hot. Wow. Everybody's got one blemish, I think. Even national champions have their blemishes.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
I would resist the urge to drink this morning.
Stop. I'm done.
You said a lot of good things there.
Well, I don't know if I said one good thing.
I met a guy last night. Love y'all to death, Jeff.
You mind if I share?
I'm looking forward.
The show of record for Razorback fans.
I'm in my Sunday school, and first thing he says when we hop in the car, he says, "What's heard on the Chuck and Bo Show?"
It's too early for this kind of conversation. I'm still half asleep.
Here are your hosts, Chuck Barrett and Bo Mattingly.
Oh, we're going to get it big right here.
Yeah.
We are
what an
getting
action-packed hour we have
big
ahead.
start. Courtney Deifel's at 8:30, and one of the most interesting interviews in baseball is joining us now. Last year's D1 Baseball Assistant Coach of the Year nationally. 7th year with the Razorbacks as a pitching coach and an assistant to Dave Van Horn. Here's Matt Hobbs. Coach, great to have you on the show. How are you?
I'm not 100% sure I deserve that intro.
Wow.
Well, he said a moment ago you were literally one of the most interesting people in the world, period. He didn't even he didn't even apply baseball. He just said period.
Listen, I'm going to be honest. I thought we were going to lose you to Dos Equis when they changed their guy. I thought you were going to be the most interesting guy in the world. I'm glad you're still here.
Well, not my favorite drink.
You've been built up.
Maybe that's why I'm still here.
All right, so here you are. It's a little bit different with the SEC tournament this year. I don't think you're leaving, correct me if I'm wrong, until later this afternoon. So they'll have played 2 days there, and you guys are still at home. Maybe a little bit different approach or at least a challenge in going into the SEC tournament this week, having to play a max of 3 games, right?
Yeah, it's weird, honestly. I was in my office watching some SEC baseball games yesterday, and I've watched SEC tournament games in my office before. I've just usually been really pissed off because it means that I lost early, or we lost early. So it's just different. It's honestly, and the 3-game setup is good for us because we can just play like a regular, just a regular weekend, and that's why being in the top 4 is so important. And that win we got against Tennessee on Friday night became a huge win for us getting to the top 4, and then obviously closing it out to get to the 2 seed was a big deal too. So just really being able to play it straight and just 3 games in a row against 3 different teams. So it works out good for us. Hopefully we go down there and play well.
Matt, you had such the stretch at the end, weekend after weekend, the teams you were playing. You've got a 2 or 3 day period right now where you're on the practice field, but do you, in a sense, take a breath, so to speak, before you go to Hoover, knowing that the postseason's here now?
I think you kind of have to. You could really just beat your team into the ground after, especially what these guys have been through the last, and really you go back the last 6 weeks, and, save for A&M kind of stumbling a little bit down the stretch, you have 5 of the 6 teams that you play that are legitimate Omaha caliber national championship contending type teams. And that's not an easy stretch for anyone to go through. And they had to play us too. I mean, I think we're pretty good. So I felt like going into the last 3 weekends, especially because we weren't playing midweek games at that point because the Missouri State game got canceled going into Texas. It was like playing a super regional 3 weekends in a row. So you're going to have to beat a team like that. And that's what we told our teams. You're going to have to beat a team like that. It might not be that team. It might not be an SEC team, but you're going to have to beat a team like that, like a well-rounded team that's playing pretty good, that's got a lot to play for if you want to go, if you want to go to Nebraska. And it ended up working out kind of interesting. You have the 3 weekends. You win the first one, you lose the second one. So you're here with the 3rd weekend against Tennessee, and it's kind of like, you won the first game of a super, you lost the second game of a super, and here's the rubber match. And how are we going to handle that series being kind of like a de facto rubber match of a super regional if you look at like the way that we had crafted the 3 weekends and how we were talking to the team about it. So things worked out to the point where they had to win game 3. They had to win on Sunday, or I guess, the 3rd game of the series. And that was the same thing at LSU, right? I mean, we lose the first 2 games, and it's not looking great, and we're able to come back and win Sunday and salvage the series, not get swept, which is a big deal on the road in the SEC. Just do not get swept, and it put us in position to play pretty well against Tennessee. So it just really was like the SEC by itself is a meat grinder anyway, 30 games against really good teams. But that finish, when we saw it coming, it was like our team better be really hooked up if we're going to play well. And 6-3 against that caliber opponent, I think we can all look at and say we're okay with that.
Well, congratulations on 20 wins to you, the entire staff, obviously Coach Van Horn, all the players that have been involved with it. But the first team to win 20 SEC games in 5 of a 6-year span. It's historical. It's never happened before. And it speaks to the consistency over the years. We did get a question about this earlier, and so I'll ask you, just the 3 games that you're going to play if you continue to win down there. Do you plan to handle it like you would if you were just having another weekend series here? Is there anything different in this type of setup with maybe not – obviously you're playing for an SEC tournament title, but in terms of the big goal, the postseason, the NCAA tournament, maybe there's not a lot at stake here.
Yeah, I think that you have to go into it like you're going to try to win. You're trying to win it. Like you can't. And I've done both, honestly. Like last year with Hagan, I restricted him to 40 pitches, and that was all he was going to throw. And it's like the biggest mistake I could have made. Like you took this great competitor and told him just go get some work in, and it was just a terrible idea. And I won't do that again, honestly. Like if we're going to rest the guy, I just won't pitch him. So
interesting.
What I want these guys to do is go out and compete. Like it's really, really hard to like flip the switch from a really good competitor and just tell them like, hey, Gunnar, you just go out there and just tiptoe your way through this thing. It's like, what do they say in football? It's like, when you play not to get hurt is when you get hurt. And I think that the same things apply to baseball or really any sport. It's like when you're going out there and you're trying to just play the game, and you've been telling these guys all year, hey, it's about competing. Like, I don't want to talk out of both sides of my mouth. So I feel like our team needs to go down there and attack it. And that's what I told the pitchers yesterday was we're not going down there to just play these games. And this isn't a victory lap. Like we got to go down there and try to play well. And whoever we play might not let us, they might play better. But our job is to go down there, prepare our team and play well and, keep building momentum. I really don't want to waste the back-to-back games against Tennessee where we played, I felt like we played our asses off in both of those games. And I don't want to go down to Hoover and just kind of like, all right, now let's just take our foot off the gas. And then the next week be like, all right, well, now we got to put our foot back on the gas. Let's just play and see what happens. We'll have more to play for the following week, and we're going to play at home, it looks like. And, we're going to have an opportunity to right some wrongs in the past. But I really don't want to go down to Hoover and just say, let's go to the pool and take it easy.
Hey, how's Gage Wood doing as he continues to try to get back to, full 100%?
He's good. It's been, I think it's a little bit uneven when guys come back. They're either like he was against Texas or they're like he was against, LSU. There's not a whole lot of in between. And his health is good, which is the most important thing for Gage or anybody that's coming back is his health is good, which allows him to continue to train. That's the toughest thing when you're dealing with any kind of management of an injury or managing a buildup or anything like that. And he threw a bullpen yesterday, a day ahead of his schedule because he just felt good. And for me, that was like, all right, we can now treat him like a pitcher instead of treating him like a guy that's rehabbing and coming back. So that gives me a pretty good feel for, hopefully this means Gage is kind of past all of the build-up stuff and you're going to have peaks and valleys when you do those things. It's not clean usually. Usually don't get this like great build-up and this clean recovery. There's going to be some soreness. There's going to be some dead arm. There's going to be all the things that you see, all the things that nobody sees when they're building up for the season happening in real time in SEC play. Like that's what Gage was doing. And kudos to him. He just kept on competing. But, like, usually that's happening in the Fowler, in January, that nobody sees that. Nobody sees up and down outings. Nobody sees, velocity down a mile an hour. Nobody gets to see that stuff because we're practicing when that's happening for the vast majority of our pitchers. But when that's happening in real time, it's like everybody's got an opinion on what's going on with Gage, and they should. Like, it's part of the deal. But I think that he's handled it really well, and hopefully we're to the point where he's just pitching. The goal was by Tennessee he just pitches, and then he had an abbreviated start against LSU because frankly he just wasn't pitching that good, and then that set us back about 8 days in terms of just like getting into his pitch count. So after last weekend against Tennessee, when he had to go manage a really good lineup and throw a bunch of pitches and felt good enough to throw a bullpen a day early yesterday, I feel like we can kind of just take the reins off and let Gage go be Gage.
Hey, I want to ask one more question about your personnel with Coyle back and with Dietz back. Now, how do you utilize them moving forward, going into the postseason?
Well, with Parker, I think that you got to use him when it matters, right? He's a guy that you got to pitch when there's leverage, and we've done that back-to-back weekends with him. He got the last couple outs down at LSU, and then threw in a big spot against Tennessee, and just dumping him right back into the leverage is like what we felt like we needed to do with him. We needed another left-handed arm in the pen outside of Gibbler. We weren't getting a whole lot out of those guys, and putting Cheese in the bullpen is helping out too. Mm-hmm. So with Dietz, though, it's really his second appearance was the other day against Tennessee, and it wasn't great, obviously, but like it's a really good arm, and I would say you got to bring him along slowly, but we don't have that luxury right now, so he's going to have to go out and pitch, and I think that we'll hopefully get him into some good spots down in Hoover to get him back on track after he had a really good outing at LSU in terms of his stuff, and then he had a not so good outing against Tennessee in terms of his stuff. So it's just like a little bit of a roller coaster when you're, again, kind of like Gage. It's like these things are happening in real time, and usually there's like a 5-week buildup that these guys all get to go through. So I hope that we can get more out of. I would like to get a lot more out of Hunter. Mm-hmm. So I feel like he's got a super high ceiling, and I'd like to get more out of him. And frankly, he needs to give us more. And I know he wants to do more. So I think that like that kid could be a big time difference maker. But really, like as far as solidifying the bullpen, Parker Coyle is like head on a pillow, feeling great about putting him in. You're getting strikes. You got 3 pitches. Options to how you want to attack hitters. There's not any kind of pattern he has to fall into. It's just a really I think that's a big one to get back.
Matt Hobbs, Arkansas pitching coach. You said something earlier, that kind of speaks to how difficult the challenge is of playing in this league, playing in this tournament this weekend. We want to go down there and play really well. Somebody might keep us from doing that. They might play better than us. As an outsider, as fans, we look at it, we go, man, you wish you had 3 starting pitchers that were giving you 6-7 innings an outing. And maybe as a fan, you worry about that a little bit. But on the other hand, I look at all the guys that you can go to and that you bring out of the pen. And we just talked about how many wins you've had this year, and 6 out of 9 in 3 really tough series. And you're obviously figuring it out. Is there a right or wrong way here? Or do you just feel like, hey, we have enough and we've just got to figure it out depending on how it goes?
Yeah, I will, and you guys can ask all the experts out there for the list of the team with the best 3, the 3 starters that are consistent every weekend in college baseball.
Well, yeah, Bo was saying 6 or 7 innings from 3, and I'm thinking that team goes 30-0. I mean, if you got 3 starters going 6 or 7 innings, you never lose.
But it is the conversation.
No, you're right, though.
No,
you're
right.
I would love for the list. Like I'm waiting. Like I think Iowa's got 3 guys that have gone like all 3 games every weekend, and that might be it. Like
it's
college baseball.
Great perspective, yeah.
But this is college baseball, and like I think when we went down to LSU and we saw those first 2 guys, I was like, God, man, these guys are like really good. These 2 starters are great, and they didn't have anyone to start in the 3rd game. It's like that's everywhere. Mm-hmm. That's not the University of Arkansas's problem. Like our job is to manage the game and figure out what we need to do. What's the best thing that we can do to be able to put ourselves in position to win. And if we can do that, then we're going to win. And if we can do that, then we're going to win. And if we can do that, then we're going to win. And if we can do that, then we're going to win. And if we can do that, then we're going to win. And if we can do that, then we're going to win. And if we can do that, then we're going to win. And if we can do that, then we're going to win. And if we can do that, then we're going to win. And if we can do that, then we're going to win. And if we can do that, then we're going to win. And if we can do that, then we're going to win. And if we can do that, then we're going to win. And if we can do that, then we're going to win. And if we can do that, then we're going to win. And if we can do that, then we're going to win. And if we can do that, then we're going to win. And if we can do that, then we're going to win. And if we can do that, then we're going to win. And if we can do that, then we're going to win. And if we can do that, then we're going to win. And if we can do that, then we're going to win. And if we can do that, then we're going to win. And if to win a baseball game. And I feel like we got two really good starters in terms of Zach Root, who's an all-SEC first-team pitcher, and Gage Wood, who probably would have been had he been healthy. Those are two really good starters. And that's more than most have. If you look around, like what's playing in this tournament right now, it's just like it's 1.5 starters and a spot starter for like 99% of the teams.
That's right.
And the rest of it you cobble together, and you hope you can get that third start. You hope like hell you can have a third starter that can go out and throw 5 or 6 innings. But look around the league. Like, this isn't something that everybody else has and we don't.
Yeah.
This is
Well,
not
and that's
that.
what happens. We tend to focus on as a fan, your team. And it's like you don't really realize what everybody else has too. But you guys have done it and figured it out.
Right. And our job is to, like, if we can get 3 or 4 innings out of Aiden Jimenez at the front of the game, maybe that's what we do. Or we go back to Cheese and we just say, hey, let's go out and give us 3, 4, 5 innings. And maybe he gets hot and gives us 6. And in that situation, maybe he gets hot for 3 weeks and he's like a guy again. And all these things can happen. Our job is to make sure that we've got enough in the middle, right? Like Cole Gibler, like 3 1/3. You just do 60 pitches. Will McIntyre just went 3 2/3. And like these are big chunks of innings that guys are able to throw. And like in my opinion, like the middle of the game, when you get to the third game of a series or the second game of a series or whatever, that's winning time, right? Like that's how you win baseball games, is you can just hold them down. Like we were facing who I think is probably the best pitcher in the country on Friday, and we were hooking it up with Cole Gibler was matching him 0 for 0, and we were hitting him. So it's like we were scoring and Cole was throwing zeros. And if you'd gone into the game and said, what has to happen for us to win this game? Well, certainly Aiden Jimenez, who we're spot starting, has to throw 7 shutout to beat that guy. But that's not what happened, right? That's not what happened.
Yeah.
And if you can't score, you definitely need, you got to throw shutouts. But, I mean, the University of Arkansas can hit.
Yeah.
And that can make up for some of, if we have a deficiency on the mound or we got a hole somewhere, you can plug it with Vahiva Aloy and Kuhio and Charles and Brent and all these guys that can just absolutely mash. And that helps our team. And, it is a team at the end of the day. I know I'm the pitching coach. You're asking me about pitching questions, which is what you should be doing.
Yeah.
But this is a team that is going to pick each other up and going to be able to help each other when things aren't going well. If they can't score, we've got to throw zeros. If we're struggling to get to 0, then they got to score runs. And ultimately, we got to do both those things, and we got to do what every Coach Van Horn team does, is play elite defense. And I like where we're at currently. Would I love to have a guy that could go 7 innings on game 3 or game 2 or of course. That'd be an idiot to say. I'd be drinking too much of that Dos Equis we were talking about earlier to say that didn't matter. But it's there's still ways to do it if you have enough depth and good pitching. And I feel like when I look at the list of guys that we have available to us, I feel like, hey, there's some guys in here that can really do this. And you guys have been around college sports and baseball at a high enough level to know that this is the time of year when somebody has to do something they've not been doing all season for you to continue to play. Somebody's got to do something they haven't been doing.
There's always one guy. There's always one guy that emerges. Yeah.
Always. Every time. 2022 Will McIntyre out of nowhere. And he starts the championship game of a super regional and wins it. These things happen. And, I feel like our team is getting some of those performances. Cole Gibler, 62 pitches against the best, again, like I said, the best guy in the country. And he hooked it up with him and we won. And Will McIntyre, seldomly used, even though he's having a good season. And he goes 11 up, 11 down to clinch a big-time win for the Hogs in Game 3. It's maybe it's history repeating itself. Who knows? I don't know. But, that's going to have to happen if we want to keep playing and we want to go deep into the postseason and we want to, like I said, right some wrongs from the past. Guys have to step up.
Yeah,
we have to get Christian Faust to throw 2 innings at the end of the game. You got to have stuff like that happen. So I'm excited about watching stuff like that happen.
We're excited to watch too. It's less nerve-wracking watching than it is coaching, but that's a great insight right there. And thanks for hopping on. I think we love having you on, the other coaches on. We learn a lot. Appreciate the time, Matt. Have a safe trip down to Hoover later today, and good luck to you guys.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks. Matt Hobbs, Arkansas pitching coach. Courtney Deifel's coming up in a little bit. We got to hit a break back in a minute.
You can tell I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Buying or selling a home's a big deal, and you want someone who is with you every step of the way. That's why those of us at the Chuck and Bo Show wholeheartedly recommend Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, because we've experienced it. They've been my partners for life. They're Bo's partner now, and I promise you, when you become involved with Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company, they'll become your partners for life too. They've been turning houses into homes since 1978, and you can always log on and check out their selection at WeicherGriffin.com.
Hey, want to fly like a VIP? With Jet Aircraft, you skip the TSA lines, skip baggage claim, and fly on your schedule. The plane doesn't leave until you get there. You enjoy a full bar and food service for up to 9 passengers and plenty of room for luggage. Wherever you need to fly to or from, whether it's a special trip to the College World Series or golfing with buddies, round up your crew, split the cost, and fly private. Also, ask about the Jet card. Visit jetnwa.com. That's Jet with 2 T's.
We never thought much about power outages until we had one during the worst possible time. As a busy mom, there are plenty of challenges in a day. But with Paschal, power outages don't have to be one of them. A whole home generator installed by the pros at Paschal gave me back my peace of mind. The process was easy and understandable. Now, I don't have to worry about losing power when storms arrive. Get a free estimate today and keep the power on with a whole home generator from Paschal. Professional people, professional service. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
If you haven't tried a flight by Yuengling, you're missing out on the great taste of Yuengling that is a light beer. It's the next generation of light beer. Get it on draft, in the can, the new skinny cans, and now the new 16-ounce resealable twist-off aluminum bottle. Perfect for any occasion. It's just 95 calories, and you're still enjoying a Yuengling. Take your beer game to new heights with Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer.
You know, I want Texas to lose. Yeah, I want them to rot in hell.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
got my hands on a skinny can this weekend. I don't know what it is about skinny cans, but it's just better.
You got a little hand.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
If you have little hands, it makes it more difficult to defend in flag football.
It does. Did you see this? NFL players First off, I didn't even know flag football was going to be an Olympic sport. But the NFL Players Association has given the go-ahead for NFL players to be involved in flag football at the Olympics. Now, they play flag football, I guess, in the Pro Bowl now.
Yeah.
So
10-player Olympic rosters will be selected by the national committee for each country with 6 teams each, separate tournaments for men and women. The game itself is a 5-on-5 competition, a 50-yard field. They voted in the spring meetings in Minnesota Tuesday, authorized by the NFL to negotiate safety provisions and scheduling logistics with NFL Players Association, the sport's international governing body, and relevant Olympic authorities before it becomes reality during the summer games in Los Angeles.
So we've got the Dream Team Part 2.
No more than 1 player per NFL club would be allowed to play.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah.
NFL players, flag football.
I think Aaron Rodgers is the guy.
The Olympic Games.
Who's the quarterback?
Pat Mahomes.
Yeah. Think Mahomes is going to play flag football
No,
in the Olympics?
I don't.
Courtney Deifel's coming up next on the Chuck and Bo Show short segment. Had a great interview with Matt Hobbs. And
That was good.
It was a little long. It was awesome, though. We'll talk to Courtney Deifel next. For Chuck Barrett, I'm Bo Madden.
Yeah.
Good morning. Hey, kids, how about a bagel?
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Are you looking for tough, reliable equipment from people you can trust? WT Equipment is your local family-owned dealership with 8 locations across Arkansas. And yep, they're big-time hog fans too. From Bobcat to New Holland, Hustler, Steel, and more, they carry the brands you know and trust to get the job done. Whether it's equipment or implements, WT Equipment has the tools you need, including a full lineup of Bobcat machines built for power and performance. Stop by your nearest WT Equipment today.
Hey, it's moms, dads, and grad season at Splash Car Wash, and they're running a special offer just for listeners of the Chuck and Bo Show. Right now, buy 1 Best Car Wash and get 2 free. 1 for mom, 1 for dad, 1 for your favorite grad, or just keep 1 for yourself. We won't tell, because we know how good it feels to drive a clean car. Triple the shine with 3 car washes for only $27. Text Splash Arkansas to 22322 for the link to access this exclusive online offer. There's nothing we enjoy saying more than I told you so.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
You're going to be there, right?
Maybe.
Well, I'm saving you a seat.
I'm giving it the big maybe.
The hard maybe.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
What a regional win for the Arkansas softball
What a
team.
weekend.
Yeah. Courtney Deifel's joining us on the Chuck and Bo Show, and I know that she's getting all the same questions all across the board when it comes to Bree Ellis being National Player of the Year now, SEC Player of the Year. Coach, what's something you could tell us about Bree that you haven't already said 15 times or 35 times in the last 3 weeks? Because her game pretty much speaks for itself, but this doesn't just happen either.
No, it sure doesn't. And I don't know if there's anything that I haven't said because I've been lucky enough to get the opportunity to talk about her all the time. But the one thing I will say that I don't think I say enough, I'll say that, is she is a lockdown first baseman too. So, I think when you look at her offensive numbers and she's having one of the best offensive years ever, she is an anchor for our defense too. And so I think that she's an underrated defensive player. She's an underrated base runner. And so anyway, I'll hype that part of her game up. I don't think that gets enough attention.
That's good.
One thing I couldn't help but notice was over the weekend, every time they walked her, she went to first base with a smile on her face like she just lined one into left field. And lots of times great hitters, when they're walked over and over and over again, it'll affect them. It'll frustrate them. I never sensed that happened with her.
No, great hitters want to hit. All hitters want to hit, but that's the thing that is so incredible about Bree is she knows she has so much faith in her team around her. So she has so much trust and belief in them, but she knows when she gets on base, it helps us. So you don't see her getting frustrated. She's frustrated. She wants to hit, she doesn't get to swing the bat that much, but she knows it helps us for her to be on base. And here's the other thing I'll say. I just thought of another one, and I've said this a couple times, so I'm not going to say I haven't said this, but in our Sunday game this weekend, her first pitch of her last at bat, she hit a tank, and the wind just took it foul. And it almost hit Bud Walton, you guys. She hit it.
I saw it. She was a blast.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And the wind takes it and it goes foul, and she's, grinding in her at bat, and she ends up popping up to the right side. And it's a windy day, so we know, she ended up on second base. And they dropped it because of the wind, and she misplayed it. And then how they shifted, it was one defender, and that was it. And she ended up on second base. And there are just not many players like her that would end up hustling that ball out and being excited, celebrating with her team that she was on second base. And that's who Bree Ellis is. She is I will do anything for this team. She is an ultimate team player. And that in a snapshot is exactly who Bree is character-wise. She hits the tank, so that, she hits a lot of tanks. But there's just not many players built like her. She is really special.
Coach, you have a great team, obviously. I think when you have a player like this, like she's getting attention from non-traditional places for softball. John Boy Media, who is hilarious in my opinion, he's got about 1 million Instagram followers, and he'll narrate, plays and games.
We know John Boy in our house.
Okay, all right, yeah. So he's got about 1 million Instagram followers. And he's talking about Bree Ellis being the best hitter in softball history, and it's fun and exciting. But my point is, when you have a star like that, and then you have a group around the star, and other players are all Americans on this team too, but they all seem to gel and together. But it's a unique blend, I guess, is what I'm saying. Sometimes you can have a great team, but man, it seems like the best teams have that star. And then they've got people around them that also, it's like they raise their game, and everybody's sort of lifting each other in their game. It feels like, just watching from the outside, that's sort of happening with your team.
Yeah, absolutely. It's such a unique blend. You're exactly right. And it's a group of individuals that are completely bought into the team. And we have a star in Bree Ellis. We have a lot of stars. So we have a lot of stars. But Bree Ellis is a star that doesn't act like a star. And when you talk to her, you have to make her talk about herself. And I think that's the biggest thing is she gives so much credit to her team, and it's so tough coming into play our offensive lineup because you do put a lot of emphasis on Brie Ellis. How are we going to get Brie Ellis out? What are we going to do with Brie Ellis? We have Courtney Day behind her. Are we going to choose to go to Courtney Day? Well, she made him pay for that on Saturday. And then the bottom of our order made them pay for not really going at her on Sunday. And it's someone different every day, but it's how they play together, how they build each other up, how they trust each other. And then you have our star that doesn't act like a star. She grinds, she works, she builds her teammates up, and that's what this team is made up of a bunch of players like that, and it's really, really special.
The comeback win over Oklahoma State. When you came back and won that game, it just seemed like from that point on, your team was head and shoulders better than everybody else in the regional. Do you feel like, there's the proverbial got over the hump, but do you feel like that was something your team really needed to do, not just to win that game, but to, maybe propel you to things beyond that down the road?
Yeah, I think so. I think there was a big shift in our team from that point on Saturday to the rest of the weekend. You're exactly right. But I think when you sit in that game on Saturday and it feels like, dang, this isn't going our way. They weren't outplaying us by any means. They just were getting some breaks, and I think they barreled up maybe 3 balls on the day, and they just are getting some breaks, and it just kind of feels like, well, crap, And this team never flinched. I think we had like an inning maybe of being tight, and then they were like, well, let's go. And there was a difference in this team in the last 2 innings for sure, but it kind of shifted in that 5th inning. And what I'll say too is our fans were incredible on Saturday. And a lot of times when you're in Baum or Bogle, like they love big hits. They love big offense. And sometimes the big offensive hit gets them going. Well, no, they stood up, especially in the 7th inning when we were down 3, and they got the whole stadium up cheering for this team, and this team just rallied. They felt it down in their core, like it's just a matter of time, we're going to get this. But our fans knew it too, and it was an incredible thing to be a part of.
I wonder how you handle that as a coach. I've seen coaches, you huddle the team up, you make a great speech. I've seen other coaches just stay away and let the players figure it out. How do you handle moments like that?
Well, those moments, to me, I'm just trying to get them hyped too, like trying to get the fans up because I'm feeling it too. So that moment, it's not necessarily the big speech because you can feel it in our team. There was a shift, and so you can feel the vibe. The DJ Gasso is more of like the button pusher, get them going. I'm more of just like the yell, like let's go. And so it was a combination of everything. In that moment, it was trying to push them. Hey, we're right there. Hey, right there. Not matter of time. But that 5th and 6th, 7th came around, and you just gotta kind of let them do what they do. And that's exactly what they did. But, oh, my gosh, the amount of big-time at-bats that we had, the big-time defensive just to keep it in reach, it was phenomenal. I'm just so proud of the team.
Yeah. Well, it's like
it was awesome.
It's like however many people were there, 3 times that many say they were there because everybody was talking about it all weekend and after the weekend about what the environment was like at Bogle Park that day. Now you got Ole Miss coming in. You got this super regional. Haven't played them in a long time. Played them early in the year. But how do you describe what this matchup's like for you and what you guys have to continue to do?
Well, it's a tough matchup. They're playing really well. I think when you look at, you want to play who your team wants to play. It doesn't really matter who we play this time of year. Everybody's going to be really tough. And so it's focusing on what we do, and our team's feeling really confident right now. I think when we look back at when we played them in the year, that was our worst stretch of softball all year, and we know that. And so we know when we played them, we didn't give them our best. Now they weren't who they were on Sunday, so when we ended up winning the game on Sunday, that's not who they are either. And so we have to just be really mindful of that. But we're a different team now than we were then. And so are they. We're both more battle tested. We've gone through the gauntlet of the SEC schedule, and so it's just kind of knowing what happened, and then also focusing on who we are and how we're playing now and what we need to do. And so we're excited for another opportunity to play in Bogle. I think our tickets sold out in under 40 minutes. Like that's incredible. So we're just looking forward to an electric weekend.
You're the talk of the town.
Yeah, we want to go ahead and just let you know you are. It's official today. We're making the announcement now. You are the Chuck and Bo Coach of the Year.
Hey.
So, like, I don't know how many other awards you're going to get or not, but just so you know, congratulations.
There's no trophy or cash prize or anything like that.
It's just a badge of honor.
Oh, wait, what?
What? Well, it was. It's something we're working on. It's something we're working on.
It's not in the budget
Maybe
right
just
now, but down the road.
Okay, all right, fine. Maybe just like a high five later.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Or a cutout that we can put right next to Bart's at the game. Maybe we'll get you a cardboard cutout.
Perfect.
Congratulations to you, Coach, on the year so far. Bree Ellis, Robin Herron, Ella McDowell, Peyton Burnham for their All-America honors as well. Always great to visit with you. It's fun watching this run, and good luck and continued success to you.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate it, Coach. Coach Courtney Deifel, Razorback softball. Bart, what'd we screw up? I know you're over there. Just
ask her this. Ask her this. Oh, that's a stupid question.
No, that was great. That was great. Job well done, guys.
Yeah, she was great. I'll tell you what else is great is you can get a car wash for $27 a month at Splash and get 2 free. So instead of just getting 1 car, you get 3 cars for the price of 1. Mom, dad, maybe you got a grad, whomever it is. It's a family type deal at Splash Car Wash right now. All you've got to do is text Splash Arkansas to 22322. They'll send you the link. You'll get signed up. Splash Arkansas to 22322. Get 3 car washes for the price of 1.
I don't need Chat GTP. I've got Chuck GTP.
Amen.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Guys, regardless of our age, feeling good is something we all want. That's what the Sweat No Edge is all about. It's where health, confidence, and peak performance come together. We all face challenges like low energy, hair loss, who's looking at me, stubborn weight, and skin health. The good news is we can do something about it. Get your free evaluation today and see where you are. Chuck and I have both done it and are better off for it. Log on to sweatgnomecosmetic.com and click on the Sweat Gnome Edge.
Arkansas's one-stop automotive shop is right around the corner. Fayetteville Auto Park. FayettevilleAutoPark.com. Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Acura, Collision Center, all in one place. And if you're shopping pre-owned, Fayetteville Auto Park has you covered. With so many new cars sold, we always have a great selection of fresh trades. Why settle for anything less than the best? Fayetteville Auto Park, West Showroom Drive in Fayetteville. Proud sponsor of the Chuck and Bo Show.
Some moments just call for something unforgettable. At Blakeman's, you don't just buy a diamond. You create an unforgettable experience. Their newly remodeled space is stunning with Cafe B right inside and their in-house diamond expert that'll help you find the perfect piece every time. That's just part of the Blakeman's experience. When you see the purple bag, you know it's something special. It always saves the day. Blakeman's Fine Jewelry. It's more than jewelry. It's your story.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, if you're struggling to get your Social Security disability, or you're buried in debt thinking about bankruptcy, don't wait. You need a legal team that knows how to fight for Arkansans.
That's why you can trust Cadell Reynolds. Bill Reynolds and his team know how to get results when it matters most. Whether it's personal injury, disability, or bankruptcy, they've got your back.
Dial 866-314-3728 or visit CadellReynolds.com today.
Cadell Reynolds. Make the right call. At the Stonebreaker Hotel, we believe in the art of gathering, whether over a thoughtfully prepared meal or a quiet moment on Markham Hill. Start your day with breakfast classics from the all-day menu, served from 7:30 to 1. Savor shareable bites from the bar and lounge menu until 10. And let the dinner menu from 5 to 9 bring familiar flavors with a fresh twist. And for a weekend well spent, how about brunch? Rooted in connection, designed for comfort. Learn more at stonebreakerhotel.com.
With rainy season here and summer just around the corner, make sure your gutters are ready. Hogcroft Gutters, locally owned with over 30 years of experience, does it all. Seamless gutters made on site, trenching and French drain. Fully licensed and insured with a 20-year warranty on every job. Serving Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. And if you're outside those areas, just give them a call or a text. And for a free inspection, visit hoggutters.com. That's hoggutters.com.
You want to talk about washed? You're being brainwashed by idiots. You're following idiots.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
In this room have opinions. Facts are secondary to a good argument.
The Chuck and Bo Show.
Want to go down to Hoover, watch the Razerbacks play just for a day, come right back? Jet Aircraft can help you out. You go to the College World Series, do the same thing, whether it's Oklahoma City for softball or Omaha for baseball. Hey, you want to fly like a VIP, whether it's the U.S., Mexico, Canada, or the Caribbean, skip the TSA lines, forget baggage claim, fly on your schedule. The plane doesn't leave until you get there, and when you do, they take your vehicle and detail it while you're gone, so you come back to a completely detailed vehicle. In the meantime, you got a fully stocked bar, custom catering options, plenty of room for luggage, up to 9 people. And maybe you're not in Northwest Arkansas, so they'll come get you wherever you are and fly you wherever you need to go. Round up your friends. Everybody chips in. It's a memory you'll always have, a trip to never forget, maybe a golf trip or maybe one of these trips I just mentioned. And ask about the Jet Card memberships for even more perks. It's Jet Aircraft. Visit jetnwa.com. That's Jet with 2 T's. 877-377-6963. If you want to text or call the show, we've been getting a lot of text.
The text line has been active
throughout the day.
Yeah.
By the way, take a flight by Yingling with you on the plane.
Mm-hmm.
They got the skinny cans now.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not on draft at your favorite restaurant, ask why not. It should be. It's the
why not?
The next generation of light beer. We got another exciting weekend coming, fellas.
We really do.
I mean, Bart, I think Bart, like, if I could just analyze you for a second, when you were just sort of, dauber down early on today,
yeah.
I think it was just the lull in between all the excitement.
There's a lot going on. It's a
then
very
we had a
exciting.
lull,
Yeah, it's
like,
a very
right in the middle.
Well,
yeah. It's kind of like you're coming off the high from the weekend, and you're trying to get ramped up for the next weekend, but you're stuck in the middle. The new Mission Impossible movie comes out tomorrow.
What?
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You want to go, Chuck? You want to go to the movies with me?
No, probably not. But Matt Hobbs was talking about this earlier. You got to take a breath after that stretch, and that's kind of how Bart is now.
But you've got.
I don't think he's going to go see Mission Impossible.
They might go as a team tonight.
You think?
When we get there.
I'm going tomorrow.
Well, I mean, I know that. You going to a matinee? You going to do a matinee?
Does Hoover
tomorrow?
get it before we do?
You've got softball super regionals next weekend, baseball regionals, potential women's college World Series. You've got baseball super regionals the weekend after that. You've got the college World Series the weekend after that. There's just a lot going on, a lot to be excited about if you're a Razorback fan.
And my son's first birthday.
Yeah, let's give it up for
Yes.
Bennett.
Yes.
1 year old, the
Bennett
big one.
Warren.
The big one today.
1 year old today.
1 year old.
Let me try to get
Happy birthday.
Kevin's call in. Happy birthday, Bennett. Bennett, happy birthday. You're 1. Congratulations. Hey, Kevin, what's on your mind?
Hey, Bo, how's it going? Hey, Chuck.
Hey, Kevin.
Hope everybody's doing good.
Never
I'm
been.
just hopping on here. I was just going to mention, last night I was surfing my streaming on Roku, and I caught something. I was looking through sports shows and old sports shows, and it was the documentary that you were a part of on Mitch Mustang. It was really good.
Matthew Wolf film.
I just wanted to say.
Yeah, that's been out forever.
Yeah, I had not, and I watched a few of the games right on the sideline during that time, and I was really paying attention to recruiting because I had family down in Florida that are Gator fans, and a buddy of mine was doing the radio on the sideline, some of the radio, and it was just really good. Obviously in that class, I'll argue that class of high school recruits. I don't care what anybody says. If you look at the history, that was one of the best classes ever in the history of college football. If you look at what the kids did after college.
We got to go, Kevin. When Arkansas has been good, they've had good in-state classes. Stay tuned for the documentary we'll be producing on Chuck Barrett. Any day now.
Short and sweet.
Big announcement coming soon. Have a great Wednesday.
First Security is about more than great banking. Yes, we provide the financial expertise, digital tools, and everything else you need when you need it. But we also go all in on local support with friendly professionals, plus convenient locations all across the state. Because we believe personal banking is better banking. Visit fsbank.com for details. That's fsbank.com for friendly, local banking with First Security. Bank better. Member FDIC.
Oaklawn is your hot springs escape. Enjoy plush comfort, upscale dining, and Arkansas's only Forbes 4-star rated spa at our luxury hotel. And with easy access to Hot Springs National Park,